Bam! We're back with another D&D stream. Welcome, guys. Welcome to another adventure.
Hello.
Hello.
All right, let's have
Another
a recap.
sidetracked adventure.
Another sidetracked adventure.
Yes, we're actively avoiding the main quest.
No, I thought this was the main quest.
Who knows anymore what the main quest is?
Where it is now.
For all you know, they're all connected. Or are they? Okay, let's have a quick recap of what happened last time. So last time, this is what happened. You guys resolved the situation with your blacksmith friend Kaneko, who was faking to be the god Amatsumara. It seems that his charges of fraud have been dropped thanks to your spy master named Torai. And now a mysterious benefactor, aka probably Torai, has veiled him and hid him somewhere in the labyrinth for his own protection. And Kaneko informed the party that if ever you want to contact him, you can contact him through Torai via writing letters, the old-fashioned way. After that, you finally decided to take up the royal escort quest, where you found out that the royal family that needed escorting was none other than Saoirse's brother, Vasilis Fairburn, who turns out he's a bitch. Throughout this trip, he's been cold and he's refused to share any substantial information about home or anything in particular to why he's here or what he's doing. But nonetheless, he paid you to escort him, so that is what you did. And in this trip, you encountered a roadblock by the House of Zeus. Upon seeing that, you turn around, take a detour, and you get turned around again after seeing a dragon, deciding that the House of Zeus is a better option between the two. So you stormed that roadblock successfully, and you got through. Well, you ran through the battlefield technically, where the House of Zeus seemed to be in some sort of scuffle with some other house, and it was a big skirmish. Like, there were more than 30 other adventurers involved, and you wonder to yourselves what could have been happening. But nonetheless, you make it to your destination, which is a new city. On the 5th floor of the labyrinth, you manage to make your way into Jakolsa, the city of arcane research. This is where we pick up. Let me just re-describe the situation, and now I have a peg for the city. I found it. I've had it all along. I just didn't save it. This is what the city looks like. I will paste it on our Discord. Wait, where's our Discord? One sec. Here you go. This is what the city looks like. So you guys enter the 5th floor of the labyrinth, where the scenery changes completely. The floor here is the distinct feature of this floor seems to be darkness, because it is very dark, and the sides of the highway that you're on are lined with dead forests, where the life of the trees seem to be sapped from within. Then there's this dim violet light, which is overcasting the horizon. Eventually, you make it to this large city, a glowing city with tall marble spires reaching out to the sky. Around the city are several fissures where arcane energy is seeping out. And let me put you guys on the new city map that I have made.
So, just to recap what I know about the dungeon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Each floor has its own environment, and some of them have, I guess, an artificial sun.
Yes, so each floor of the labyrinth has a distinct environment. What you know from reading the book about the labyrinth is that the ceiling of the labyrinth is made up of this special kind of crystal, which they call soul gems. These crystals, they replicate weather and other things, but it simulates what the outside world would look like, basically. So that's where you guys find that's what simulates the world around the dungeon.
And on this floor, it's A perpetual night.
You're not sure if it's a perpetual night or if it's just really dark. Because they're normally the crystals, you don't see them because they're above cloud
Right.
level. So it's just like you entered a dark wood, you know, when you enter that dark wood in a game.
I see.
You know, if Amaterasu had like
Yes,
the opposite
darkness.
of darkness, like light.
No,
we
if
could
only
cast, you
the
know,
god of the
great.
sun could help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe instead of creating darkness, you could give us light.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So we arrive here with your
Yeah.
brother, right? Is your brother still here? Where is he?
Yeah, so as you guys arrived at the city, your carriages are still complete. Thankfully, you didn't lose anything, and he bids you guys farewell. He says, "Well, thank you for assisting me. The payment is with the guild. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll be off." And he is going to start walking away unless you want to talk to him.
Do we follow him? See where he's going?
Yeah, why
Uh,
not? We're
Are you
always
following him
sketchy group
stealthily,
anyway.
or just
Do we follow him secretly, or do you follow your brother officially?
Maybe you just follow him normally, just keep bothering. He is technically your
Will it
brother.
make a difference if I follow him like a regular person and you guys follow him secretly? Will that make a
See if
big
he
difference
lets
or
you.
nah?
Yeah, see if he lets you. I guess, Cassium, Wolfram, and Dandelion will say farewell, but then
Farewell.
they'll hide and try to tail him.
Yeah.
okay?
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Sure. Kurt
All right.
says
I will.
your
sorry, go ahead.
your driver Kurt, who drives your carriage, will just say that if you ever need me, you got my sending stone number, and then
And then I wink and then say goodbye.
he just goes somewhere, and you follow Vasilis. It's not that hard to follow him. He's not really paying attention. There are a lot of people walking around, and he heads into the open book cafe, which looks to be a large inn of some sort. He parks his carriage outside, he gives money to the valet, and he heads inside the inn. That's what he does.
Oh.
Along with his 2 guards.
Hmm.
Can I try following him like a cousin and talk to him?
You're her sister.
You're his sister! Why do you keep forgetting?
Right.
He's not your cousin!
I keep changing his affiliation to me.
Always downgrading his affiliation.
Later on, he's just gonna be like, I don't know, a long distant relative of some sort. Just joking.
He'll be your auntie next.
He'll just be someone you used to know.
Ooh.
Well, he's already inside the tavern at this point. You guys go in as well?
Well, I guess so. We can sneakily come in, and then if he finds me, I'm like, actually, I just want to.
I mean, it's a
say
pretty
hi.
busy tavern. You don't really need to sneak in unless you make your presence known.
Then we just enter with a low profile. I think that would be enough if that's the case.
Yep, sure. They enter this tavern. It looks like a large tavern. It's about 3 floors, which is odd for a tavern.
Oh.
And so it's called the Open Book Cafe. And inside the first floor, which you enter, it's like your typical tavern that you'd expect, except it's extremely clean. People look very civilized. No one's brawling or gambling or anything, and you have waiters serving mugs instead of cups instead of mugs of what looks to be maybe coffee. You're not sure to the people around. And you see, you try to look for Vasilis. He's talking to the barkeeper, and he looks exasperated. They're having a heated conversation.
Ooh. Do you want to
Can
order
we try
coffee?
to eavesdrop?
If you'd like to.
Order coffee.
And just sit there and
I
just
don't
listen
drink
in.
coffee.
I don't drink
Well,
coffee. Not in this game.
Is it busy enough that they
what it
don't
looks-
that they won't
what
notice
Vasilis
us
looks like.
if we just like try to eavesdrop nearby?
Yeah, he looks preoccupied. You can like take a table nearby and well, you know what? Why don't you guys roll perception for me?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kasim will also roll perception.
Okay.
Man, I'm reminded that he's the first in line to the throne of the dukedom. I just want to smack him, you know?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sure.
Wait, why is it showing us? It should be Kasim. I should change the name every time I use a sheet.
Okay. It's not that hard to spot. There's a lot of people here, and you notice that most of them look to have a particular distinguishing factor. That most of them have flower symbolisms on the clothes they're wearing. And true enough, you do notice someone in the crowd. You see Matthias. In case you
Oh.
have forgotten, I don't have a character sheet for him. Matthias was the person from the Order of the Rose that you rescued from the Feywilds.
Ooh,
He
it's
seems to
him.
be in the tavern with some other people.
Oh.
And now that after you saw him, you know that a lot of the other people here are also wearing similar outfit to him. Like they all have rose symbolisms, which you presume to
Oh.
be the Order of the Rose. And you take a table near the tavern, and you can overhear what Vasilis is arguing about with the barkeeper, saying, "What do you mean there are no more rooms in this tavern? I thought this was the largest tavern in the city." And the tavern keeper says, "Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. All the rooms have been rented out by this group. And unfortunately, they have refused to leave despite me asking them to. And so long as they're paying, I am in no right to make them leave. So if you'll excuse me, you will have to find another tavern. Maybe somewhere down the road, in the shadier part of town." And Vasilis just blurts out words which you assume are not good. But eventually he gives up on his
Not good.
argument and he starts to walk out of the tavern. And he says, "I'm not paying for the valet then." And he storms out of the tavern at this
Ooh.
point.
Valet? He doesn't even have. Okay.
He got the
He has a
valet
vehicle.
outside for his two
Alright.
carriages.
Hmm.
He's such a
Ooh.
Karen. Oh my gosh.
Such a
Where
Karen.
is he going?
He's
I wanna
demoted
explore
to
the cafe. Maybe later we
cousin.
can come back. Just
Yeah, let's just follow him some more.
Sure.
Okay.
You guys get up again. The waiter looks at you with a strange eye, like these guys just sat down, they didn't order, and then got back up. And then you guys continue to follow. Uh-huh. Yes.
Can one of us like ask Matthias? Like Matthias is still indebted to us, right? Why don't we ask what's up in the area? Maybe
But
there's.
your brother is leaving. If we do that,
We can ask
we'll lose
Matthias
him,
later
right?
in a few minutes.
Okay, fine. Good point. All right, time for Operation Basilisk stalking. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
okay, you continue to stalk this guy, gets his carriages out of the parking lot and heads on down street to a place in town that is not as fancy as where the open book cafe is, and he finds just chooses what looks like a tavern, goes inside. He unfortunately has to park his own carriage because this one doesn't have a valet.
Dignity.
The indignity.
You go inside and you see you do the same thing, try to discreetly eavesdrop, and easy enough he doesn't notice you because he seems so focused on trying to find a place to sleep. Afterwards he just pays the innkeeper and he heads on upstairs.
Okay, I guess we
Okay.
know where he is.
Yeah, we know where he's staying.
He is
Let's
currently at, I will give you the name of the place, it is called the
Sure.
the Voiceless Sky.
Oh,
Okay. No dragon shouts there.
No dragon shouts here. Okay.
Foos. Foos.
let's see. You have to go back to the open book cafe. So at least we know where.
Yeah, let's
Let's head back.
let's try to see Matthias.
Yes.
Dandelion will lead the way to the open book cafe.
Sure, you stand back up, and again you notice the waiters looking at you like, "Oh, these guys just sat down on a table and didn't order anything." And you guys leave. And back to the open book cafe. As you enter, the waiters notice you entering.
I call one waiter, right? I call one waiter and I say, what's your what's your signature drink here?
Let's actually order drinks for real or food.
Or you
Ah,
can just ask, not order anything.
No, I seriously want to order something.
I'm asking.
good sir.
Just
Our signature drink is the dark coffee frappuccino on ice blended with vanilla.
Okay.
Would you like to
I
try
see.
it?
Oh, sounds good.
How much would
I
it cost?
see.
1 gold piece.
Can you order one for my friend over there? And I point at Matthias. It's on me. I'll head to him in a moment once the drinks are all here.
Ooh, wow.
Sure. What about
Anyway,
for the rest of the group?
I'll take one.
I'll take one.
And you,
are there
madam?
any other drinks that are available or snacks?
Yes, we have water. We also have a cake made of chocolate. He looks at the counter to check what cakes are still there.
Just chocolate cake, no cheesecakes?
No, unfortunately, this group that have entered have ordered all the cheesecakes and have brought it to their private room.
Then I will just take what my colleagues are getting.
Very
What
well.
was it again? The name was too long.
It is a dark coffee frappuccino on blended ice with vanilla.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah, it's very good. And he heads on. You guys pay him. Because he's not gonna order, and he's just gonna order water because he's a loser. And you pay 4 gold pieces to this guy as he heads on to prepare your drinks. Okay.
Okay. Once the drink arrives to Matthias, I'll head on over and greet him hello.
And as you approach with the drinks, he's surprised to see what. Whoa! Why, I remember you guys. What brings you to Jokosa, very far away from the city?
I would ask you the same. We're here on some work. It's all our first visit to the city as well, honestly.
Ah, I
I
see.
remember you were looking for a drink last time we talked. Here, have one on me.
Yes, I was expecting something. Well, never mind that. And he takes it, and he takes a big swig of it. And as you guys taste it, you realize that this drink is alcoholic. And- not realizing.
Alcoholic coffee.
And he says, thank you very much. I didn't expect something this expensive, but yes, I am still in your debt. And I guess there's no harm in telling you've been helping the Order of the Rose for some time. You see, our group received a major quest from a tier 10 quest, in fact, despite most of the houses in the Order of the Rose being in tier 8. The quest was to retrieve some sort of spell component from the Feywilds. And it's a high tier quest because where the ingredient or component is located is said to be a notoriously dangerous area. Yeah, that's why we're here.
I look at him and say, I did notice this open book cafe, was it, is rather upscale. Are you perhaps sponsored by the quest, or how's it going for the Rose?
Not really. Well, the Order needed a place large enough to house most of its members. That's why we've rented almost all the rooms. If you may have realized, there are no more vacancies. And this was the only place that could fit all of us. Or almost all of
Is it that
us.
big of a quest? That
Yes,
you need
it is.
that many
it is.
people?
It is a
Wow.
big quest in itself, and it is a important quest for the Order. As you know, we're trying to make a point that smaller houses together can make a difference. And this is our first opportunity to prove that. So, in fact, the 3 deities that run the Order, Aphrodite, Tyr, and Konohana, are all here.
Oh, wow.
We've been here for more than a day, actually. And to tell you, and
I see.
he like puts his hand to his forehead and scratches it and like rubs it, and he says, "To be honest, we've been here for I think more than 2 days. Our three leaders have not decided on a course of action, and they've been arguing in that meeting room for more than 24 hours already."
Wow. Seems
Wow.
they are discussing topics of import, Dandelion opines. And then he says, well, I'm sure they're all glad to have you add to their strength. And we
Yes.
wish you well.
Yes, indeed. In fact, you guys have been helpful, or you guys are friends of the Order, aren't you? Maybe if you could break the deadlock, he asks.
Well, we need an introduction, perhaps.
Of course,
And I
allow me.
look at him.
He stands up and he points. He like gestures like, this way, if you will.
I look at my party and I tell
Yeah.
them, let's
Follow.
meet some.
And then I nod.
Let's eat
Nod.
some deities.
Kasim
Alright.
just stares blankly, but Wolfram
Kasim
pushes his
follows.
head downwards so he nods.
And then I whack Kasim's head.
He does not
Like,
react.
Come on, get
It's
your
as if
head
it's
in
so-
the game.
He continues staring straight ahead with no reaction whatsoever. Something's not
And
right
then
with him
I'm
today.
I'm like, what's wrong with Kasim? He's not the usual fun banter
Wolfram shrugs.
roommate.
He's like, and Kasim continues staring straight ahead. We drag him, and he's like as if he's a T-posing. He just slides with us.
You just push his seemingly lifeless body onward, trying to get him to move. But he follows. He's not that he's super responsive, but at least you can get him to where you need to go. And you guys enter like a private meeting room. It's like if you guys have been to like Bo's Coffee in Katipunan, the third floor there's like this glass enclosed meeting room. So that's what it looks like, where there's a table and you can rent it out if you pay a certain amount of consumables.
What?
So that's what
I
they
didn't know that.
yeah.
No, nice. I
So
learned
that's what
something.
they did.
I didn't know the third floor of Bose had that.
I
Yes.
just bought some Bo's coffee beans.
And in this room, you see there are a few people. Most of the chairs are now vacant, but there's still like a few adventurers sitting around the table, and you notice three distinct figures who you assume to be deities, and they're very much into a discussion. They're just talking amongst the three of themselves, and Matthias points them out to one at a time and tells you who they are. So that one there's Konohana. She's the goddess of flowers. If you remember our good friend Tryphon, that is his deity.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Oh.
This other
Konohana's
one,
so pretty.
he points at the male character in the table. This one is Tyr. He's my deity. He's the god of war. And then finally he points to a beautiful lady sitting at the head of the table. And that one over there. Oops. Should wait.
Isn't Apollo a god of war too? Is Tyr working
Ares
for
is a
him?
god of war.
Oh.
Points
Oh my
at
gosh, even Aphrodite is so beautiful, man.
a beautiful lady sitting at the head of the table, and that one over there is, well, technically she's the founder, and she considers herself the leader of the Order of the Rose. That's Aphrodite, the goddess of beauty.
Ooh. No questions asked. Goddess of beauty.
So these three, although the Order of the Rose, there are several other houses under us, like the House of Anathea and all that, but these three are the big three, if I would say, and they practically run the Order. They're all high-tier houses. Aphrodite's house is a tier 8 house. Konohana is a tier 7 house, and my house, the House of Tyr, is also a tier 8 house. So, if you're ready, I will butt into their conversation.
I guess so.
Yeah, let's do it.
And he he moves closer before he could like make a loud what's that sound? He was about to do like the to introduce you guys, but
Clearing of the throat.
yeah, before he clears his throat to get their attention. He tries once, but they don't stop, and you get to hear what they're talking about. Currently, they are in a heated argument, and Aphrodite says, "Directly engaging with the Fae through that crossing is practically suicide. It's either we find a way around that crossing or we negotiate our way in. In fact, I've already sent some scouts from the House of Konohana to search for other Fae crossings into that sacred grove," he says, directing his statement at Tyr, and Tyr slams the table and says, "No! If we can't show the city that our chosen are capable of fighting, then their opinion of us won't change. I've already asked some of my men to build mobile fortifications to break through that Fae crossing. We need to be more direct." And as he says that, it's like he almost stands up as if to get into a fist fight, but Konohana calms them down and says, "Let's just decide on one course of action, please, and put all our resources into it instead of splitting up." And their argument continues with similar points until finally Matthias clears his throat loud enough for them to stop talking. He says, "Ahem. If you'll excuse me, lords and gods and goddesses, we have guests." And he points at you. "These are from the house of Amaterasu, the adventurers who have helped us on multiple occasions." And he points at you guys, and he introduces you. This is, like, he says, "He's Dandelion. He's a famed bard. You may have heard of him." And all of them say no, they haven't. And
Psychic damage.
and he introduces the rest. Saoirse, Kasim, and Wolfram. You all get introduced one by one.
I curtsy to a split, don't forget.
And you curtsy to a split. Your
It's the
standard
official
greeting.
of a wereworm.
Which your brother can do. You know.
You know, it's a
Super
staple for the
flexible, back it
Fairburn
down.
family.
Okay.
Dandelion takes the greeting in kind as he tells them, it is good to finally meet the deities of houses and members that we've helped often in the past.
Yes. What is it exactly that you are doing here? And Tyr says, "Well, if I may be so bold," not Tyr, sorry. Matthias says, "If I may be so bold, maybe they can help us break this deadlock." And Konohana, seeing you guys, says, "Yes, I've heard a lot from Tryphon about you guys. You have aided us several times without asking for much reward. What is your opinion on this matter? Allow me to explain further, though. We have received a quest to retrieve these components called bloodstones. But these bloodstones, they're located in the sacred grove of the Court of Blood. The only way we know, or our employers know, to get to that sacred grove is through this very infamous Fae crossing near the city. We know that it's most likely heavily fortified on the other side. Now, Tyr over here," she says, "wants to storm that crossing, believing we need to show force. And Aphrodite is suggesting a lot of other alternatives. This is probably her fourth idea already. Hence, we are here." And she sits back down. "For 2 days, we have been sitting in this room, talking."
Quite the predicament. And of the Fae that inhabit the Court of Blood, was it?
Yes, the Court of Blood.
What do we know of them?
What do we know of these Fae? We know that they are... honestly, I do not know. What do we know, Aphrodite? And she says, "That is why I've sent scouts to figure that out." And Tyr says, "We don't need to know anything. We know they're Fae, we know what they're weak to, and if we storm them with enough force, we can overrun them."
What are they weak to, Tyr? I've met a number of Fae in our adventures.
Why, it's simple, lad. Swords! He brings out a sword. They're weak to bleeding, he says.
Uh-huh.
And Tyr turns to Aphrodite, says, "Look, Aphrodite, this order is taking things too slow. We're not getting anywhere because you're too careful." And Aphrodite stands up. "Excuse me? Are you saying it is my fault that we have not made any progress? Who was it that brought us this opportunity in the first place? If I may remind you that it was thanks to me and my connections that we are here today." And Tyr gets back at him. The point of our order is to prove that together we're strong. But if we don't do anything and just go around in circles, then we're not going to get anywhere. And Aphrodite will reply to that saying, "May I remind you, Tyr, that because of your rashness, many lives have been lost." And Tyr says, "It is not my fault that our fighters are not trained enough. We have been very divided, and you have been very divisive." And they continue to argue in this line of thinking.
Here. Well, I will ask Aphrodite, may we review your 4 different counter proposals? Can you share us the details?
Yes, unfortunately, we've already stricken out 2 of them. Right now, there are 2 left. One is to go into a different fake crossing, find another way into the sacred grove, and take them by surprise. The other way is to negotiate with them, though that one is up for debate. I'm more leaning towards finding another way in.
Noted. I look at the party.
Dandelion in Theos is definitely on the side of the very, very pretty Aphrodite. You can't quite confirm why, but he's already nodding along every time Aphrodite speaks. Such insightful words from this obviously very wise woman.
Do you say that out loud, that you're supporting her decision?
What he would say is probably along the lines of, "Why, Tyr? The best of stories are always the ones where there's a victorious and glorious battle. But I do agree with Aphrodite that having your forces work in an advantageous situation would make the glory even more sweeter, as you will not expend as much of your resources. How about we all lean on this exploration of an alternate path and be able to have an advantage in that way?"
And Aphrodite nods profoundly and obviously, says, "See, these experienced adventurers clearly know what they're doing. I've decided, Tyr, you have no say in this. I'm using the hierarchy card. We've all agreed to follow my direction." And she stands up and she walks out. And Konohana says, "Well, I was hoping it would not come to this." And she also stands up and walks out. And some of the other adventurers will walk out together with them. And Tyr, you can see he's fuming. He's preventing
No.
preventing his anger, and he gets up. Before he storms out of the room, he stops to address you guys. "Look, I know you guys are way stronger than most of the people here and most of the people in this house. Can I ask you a favor? It's not a favor, a request, and you will be duly rewarded."
I remark first on, that wasn't very nice of her.
And he sighs. "She's been like this all the time. She's been very indecisive, going one way or the other, and then once options from other people have been laid out, she uses what she keeps calling the hierarchy card, just because we all agreed to follow her and let her lead whenever there is conflict. I was hoping Konohana would take a more active role in deciding the path. Her job is, as the third person, to break deadlocks like this, but it seems she's not capable of doing so. I have to take matters into my own hands.
Well, that is true. I wonder what Konohana's opinion was. We didn't get to ask.
So, I have a quest. Would you like to hear me out?
Yeah, let's listen.
We'll listen.
Yes, we will
But
listen.
I can't promise we'll do it though, and then I proceed to
Can't
eat the
promise you'll
rest
do
of
it
the
because
popcorn that I had.
It'll
while we
probably
were
take
fighting.
you 2 weeks before
I
you
have
get
lots of
around
food
it.
in my pockets.
He brings out this scroll, which has the official seal of the Adventurers Guild, and shows you guys this thing. It's an official guild requisition. He hands it to you. This was the quest that was given to us. It is a high-level quest. I believe you 4 are high-leveled enough to do it. Basically, it's as Konohana had said. They're asking us to retrieve these bloodstones. There is this Fey crossing, which he points out. It's marked on your map. I will reveal it in the map. The crossing 22.66.55.66.66.3.
Ooh.
It leads into the sacred grove of the Court of Blood. Now, here's the request. I need you. I've sent word. I've just sent word to my men to abandon the option of storming the front. We will, despite my not wanting to, follow Aphrodite. But I have left a few men there with the mobile fortifications that they have already made. Can you help me do this quest before the Order of the Rose can do it? I want to prove that Aphrodite's divisiveness these past few months leads nowhere, and we need to be decisive in moments like this. I want to prove a point. If you help complete this quest before the Order does, it would be a huge blow to the Order, and it would be a huge blow to Aphrodite's standing in this group. This Order needs new leadership, I believe. And he gives you the paper. If ever you want to do this, my men are waiting at the crossing. And he also walks out.
Wait, don't we get more explanation? What do you mean, my men? Or
Anyhow,
waiting?
he left.
You can stop him if you want to talk to him.
I run after and
Oh,
then I like tap his back. What do you mean your men are waiting? Like, do we have backup? How many men are we talking about?
Yes, you will have backup. I've left 3 of my best chosen in that crossing. They have built mobile fortifications. It should help you storm the front if you need, if you decide to. And I do advise you do that because the House of Aphrodite is going the long way around. You can keep the reward, by the way. I don't care for the gold.
Oh, wait.
As well as the reputation
That changes
comes
things.
with it.
I'm joking.
Okay.
But how many people are in the Order of the Rose, like, completely? Just a curious question. Would you know?
He thinks about it, he says the number of people we brought here to Jokulsa probably numbers about 30 to 40 all in all. But these are our best men. There are several.
And you're planning to fight with these 30 men for this specific quest, and then on our team we have 4 plus your 3 men. So that's
he
like
leans
7
towards.
people.
He leans
Is that
into
right?
you and he says, "I'll be very honest. The people in the Order, especially the other houses, they are incapable of doing any good. They're not strong like you 4. I've heard from Tryphon and from Matthias what you have done, exploring that maze in the Fey Wilds, freeing him who has been lost for 2 years. You know, Matthias may be the strongest in our house at this moment, but I think you 4 can take on this something that 30, I'd call them level 1 or level 2 adventurers could take."
Oh, you are a sweet talker. I look back to the team. Are you guys interested? It is 800 gold pieces.
We can discuss
For a tier
it
10
once.
Discuss later.
Yeah, we can discuss later.
Like pretty much like just
Okay.
like later. We discuss later.
Yeah, we take the
Okay.
paper.
We take the paper.
Okay.
Okay, take the paper and say bye to Tier. Bye, Tier.
Mhm. Then we go back to the meeting room, which has been
The meeting
abandoned,
room is
right?
now empty.
We can meet
Okay, we
They
take a
have
meeting
left some
in the meeting
food
room.
in
In the
it,
meeting
like
room.
unconsumed. They're
More
platters
food?
of bread and pastries that they did not consume.
Oh, I
Yeah.
grab a
Nice.
pastry.
That's where
Usual,
you got
the
the
usual.
popcorn.
The usual.
For meeting rooms. For our group, we're actually better suited for the non upfront routes.
The non-direct approach.
Yes, the non-direct approach.
Maybe we should ask Aphrodite for the details of this new crossing. 'Cause we don't
Well,
really know where it is on the map.
actually, if we help Tier, that will just erode the order.
Yeah, it's bad.
Is it bad? I don't know. You've heard this
Or we
point.
could
You
bring
guys
a
can
revolution
decide.
within the order, a reorg.
A
for the better. Who
reorg.
knows?
I'm still more inclined to go like the alternate route. But yeah, like frontal assault never really a good idea. A stealthy attack, more sensible.
We're gonna have our own version of what could be
Oh
right
no.
joke. What are the other options?
I say we leave them alone for now.
Fair enough.
Mhm. It's
Until
gonna
maybe
take a
we
while to
learn
get
more.
30 people across a detour.
Yeah, until maybe we learn more about what's going on. But for now, I'm not inclined to
The big
running
side.
off for this.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do some detective work first of what's going on, what to expect.
Yeah,
'Cause
and look,
it is a quest for a
Labyrinth
tier 10
Research
house.
Institute. I wonder who's that.
Ooh, it's a Labyrinth Research Institute.
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay. You
Hey,
guys are
it's-
still in the room. There's enough food and drink to rest. What do you guys want to do
Alright.
now?
Okay,
We- Eat the stuff.
Pocket all
and
the
rest.
snack.
we
Well,
we
if
should
we
probably
eat and
see
then
if
what
we
was
can
left.
have accommodations at Amaterasu Amaterasu's place.
Lab.
Mhm.
Do we know where it is?
Yeah, you
The
can
lab?
probably
Right
figure
here.
it out. Like there's a directory somewhere. I marked it on your map already. You can
Okay.
easily find it.
Yeah, let's pop by. We're in that house after all.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe Beltroth is around.
You go to Amaterasu's lab next. You go to you ask around, like you find the yellow pages, find the map, and it's not that hard to find. Since you can prove that you're from the House of Amaterasu, no one asks questions. And
Nice.
you reach this, it looks like a large mundane concrete building made of sandstone. So it's like it's just a very rectangular building with a dome on top. And as you enter, there are guards standing outside, and you show your affiliations with your tattoos, and you get let in. And what do you know? Just at the lobby, you see Veldros standing there, looking through, like he's talking to what looks like a man in a lab gown. And he sees you guys. He says, "Well, look who it is. Why, if it isn't my favorite people." He
All I
giggles.
can say is, how did you get here? Weren't you back home?
Oh, but I
Met you
am.
there, physically.
Am I really
right?
here? He asks, and he looks around and he whispers, "I am not the real Veldros. I'm just his construct."
Oh,
Does he like? Is it like a hologram? Can I whoosh?
No,
my
he's a
hand across
physical
this-
construct. In fact, he calls himself a homunculus to some extent.
oh,
Oh, FMH.
Oh, well, since you're here, why don't I give you a small tour? I did tell you I will show you around,
I would love that.
I'd love that.
Please do.
if you will. And he guides you in. He points out some basic areas, like there's stairs going up that leads to some bunk beds. There's some stairs that go to some offices, and there are stairs that go to a pantry and a kitchen. Then you get to the interesting part of the lab, which are the labs themselves. There are several generic looking labs, like there's one that they're doing some alchemy stuff, there's one they're doing some magical enchantment stuff. There are two particular labs that take interest you. There's one that looks like a sewing area where there are magical looms, and there are people weaving fancy-looking kimonos. They're like through a display glass, so you can see them weaving, but he doesn't let you into the room itself. He just says that, oh, this is the... As you may or may not know, Amaterasu is a fan of these nice-looking clothings. So it's one of her pet projects that she's asked us to look into. And he continues walking down, and you reach this this area that looks like it's about to go downstairs, and he says, well, that's the end of our tour. Did you like what you've seen?
Very interesting. Wait, there's still one more room he did not show us.
Yeah, you can clearly see that there's stairs going down, and he stopped you guys.
So I was saying, yeah, very interesting so
What
far.
about
And
over there?
what's down there?
Well, that's the restricted section. I wouldn't want to let you inside.
Hated.
And as he says the restricted section, you see walking up the stairs is none other than...
Another Beldroth.
Another... None other than Amaterasu herself.
Whoa.
Oh my god!
You see her
I'm
in
a
person
big
in
fan.
all
I'm
her
tearing up.
brilliant glory, shining in the light of the sun. And she sees you guys.
She's beautiful.
And she says, interesting. Why have you
I
four
curtsy
come
to a
here?
split.
You do that?
Isn't she familiar with it? Because our whole town is like.
She does. I mean, she
devoted
doesn't react weirdly to it. It's as if she's received it many
to it.
times.
Nice. Okay. And then I hold her hand like this is such
She
an honor.
does not let you hold her
Then-
hand.
Oh. Ooh.
No! So like I miss. How does that look like?
Like as you try to grab her hand from her side, you see her pull it back as if, what are you doing?
Oh my gosh, my heart is cracking.
So tell me, you
Okay.
four, you have done a lot these past few weeks. Why have you come here to Jokolsa?
Yes, we did.
Well,
Go on,
we
Shu,
had
please.
like a few. We had a quest to accompany, a high-profile person all the way over here. We're not very clear about their intentions, but it was more of a, just what do you call this type of quest?
A side
Hatid
quest?
sundo quest.
Okay.
Escort
An
quest.
escort
It's an
quest.
escort quest of
Escort
your
quest,
own
sorry,
brother,
escort
not
quest.
cousin. Your brother.
No, let's
Brother.
let's not establish my relationship with that hoe.
She nods and says, ah, I see. So you have been accepting official guild quests. I have heard
Of course.
that you've done things outside the guild's jurisdiction. Is it true that you have killed Var?
I visibly sweat and then I just look towards teammates and I step back. I don't want to look like the bad student in front of Amaterasu.
We
You just
were
be
able
honest.
to
I don't
witness-
really mind that you killed him or not. I just want to know if it was really you.
we killed a female. What do you mean by him?
That was.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
her,
Var's a
her.
girl, right?
Sorry,
Is it
her.
Wolfram's like,
Right,
so
right.
that was
We
far.
were there when the house of
Inari, right?
Inari burned. Yes.
Yes, I also heard that, and the Adventurers Guild has attributed rescuing the wheat to our house, and I guess I have you to thanks for that. But may I ask, why is it that you've decided to help Inari? What has she been doing for you?
We were there for a friend. I was actually taking my lessons at the house when all of the burning happened.
I see. Because I have heard that the House of Inari has been looking deeply into this famine that's happening to the city. You are aware of this famine, right? Do you know?
Yeah, we've heard.
Yes, indeed.
And now with Inari's passing, most of the information may have been lost. Would you have any information that she has kept from the rest of the world?
that she has kept. We look at each other.
Well,
We've been keeping
I mean, we can share what we remember that we shared with Inari. Like,
Yeah.
we've been keeping Jamie and Beldroth up to date. What we know is that the House of Var had been involved in at least preparing for the famine.
yeah, it's like they were aware about it and they were hoarding grain to sell
They
at
were taking
exorbitant prices.
advantage of the
Yeah, of the famine.
situation. Yeah.
So there's no direct link that they caused the famine or anything, but they were aware of it and were prepared to take advantage.
I see. So do you believe that this famine is not a natural occurrence?
There's
Possibly,
definitely
but we can't guarantee it.
involvement
Possibly.
on it, given how Var was able to identify it.
I see.
What is our house's stand, Amaterasu?
Honestly, I do not want to get involved in a lot of the city's business. As you may have found out by now, the city gets into a lot of issues. And I would rather pursue our own interests than bother ourselves with the city's problems. Now, I have another question for you. What do you think of the state of the city right now? What do you think of the Adventurers Guild and the Pantheon? Do you think they have the people's best interest at heart?
Kasib, even though he's completely frozen, will say, "No, this is a total mess." And like, we'll just say, "Okay." Why is Kasib like he's just completely blank, but you can see he's still raging. Like this whole city's a corrupt mess.
city's gone to shit.
was just like,
Kazim's ranting.
Yeah, so like he's frozen place T-pose and he's ranting still.
Hmm.
And Luha's like, well, that,
Dandelion will probably say, "Well, the city's not on fire yet. They
yes.
they might be doing something, right? But there's definitely a lot of opposition. We have met Styrbjorn, who's
I am familiar with him.
Who's
Right, that guy.
explained to us a lot more about how he feels the Adventurers Guild is definitely insufficient in handling the situation.
And do you agree with his stand?
Hmm.
I'm just curious. This will not affect your standing in this house in any way. Please be honest. And you know that I can tell you if you're lying. She looks at you with insight that you can feel stabbing
the
through
insight.
your heart.
Dandelion would probably say that, well, we've only heard one side. We've yet to hear the Adventurers Guild side on why things are the way they are, although they haven't really given us the opportunity,
I see. I see.
which is not in their favor for sure.
And is this what the rest of the party thinks?
Wolfram nods. Like, yeah, like the Adventurers
Yeah.
Guild seems like it's doing some good, but it's also not doing things perfectly right. There's something just feels a little off.
It feels like it's like they're doing a lot of things, but those things don't all positively impact
Yeah.
the folks in you know in the city. It's like they're doing so many things but nothing at all. That's how it feels like.
That's
Busy
true.
bodies with no major output.
Yeah.
You know,
And
looking at
Kasim's-
papers that are blank.
Yeah, like and half the papers are blank.
of them.
Wolfram will say like,
Yeah.
they're shuffling papers all day, but only half of them are writing.
An interesting point of view, but one that I do not disagree with. I will keep in touch, she says, and she says, I guess you have the right to ask your own questions. I will be off unless you have anything to tell me.
I'm just like a really, really big fan. Can you give me a shout out? Do you know my name?
Yes, it is Swarsha, right?
No. Oh my god. I internally face bomb. And I say, you're so close. It's like 80% my name is good enough. And then I tear up a little bit. But you can call me Saoirse.
Okay then, Swarsha. It's a... I will remember this, she says. And do not worry about the shout out. Every time you call my blessing, you know that I am answering your calls.
God bless.
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
nice.
Amaterasu bless you. Oh, by the way, your blessing though. Can we do something about the darkness?
Are you not pleased with my ability to take light as well as to give it?
No. We love your ability to take away light as well as give it light. But maybe you should add more more options in the blessings that you share. Because apparently we all just keep calling out darkness every time we try to call you. Just a thought. And then I profusely sweat like, oh my god, I'm talking to the person I stan.
I see. So you aren't pleased with the darkness.
No,
Tell me
I'm
the
pleased,
truth.
but no, I'm not pleased.
Very well. I shall reward your honesty. And she nods. And you see that you can faintly feel that the symbol on your arm like it burns slightly, not the painful kind of burn, but like it's calling attention to you, and then the sensation fades.
She changed the spell. Yes,
Did you change the spell?
Wonder what it is.
I wonder.
Maybe it's just a smaller
Smaller
circle
darkness.
of darkness.
You now create darkness on a 50-foot radius.
Oh my gosh. So is that Amaterasu's like sleeping quarters or something? The restricted area?
Are you asking this to Amaterasu or asking this to Beldros? Or just
Is she
telling the
there?
party?
Oh, maybe I can just
Like, what's
ask. Oh, so what's there? What is hidden in the restricted area? Is it something we can know?
Why don't you roll me persuasion?
Oh my god, I'm not that persuasive, I think. Let me try. Amaterasu, come on, come through.
Come through. Oh.
High
Oh.
enough.
Not bad.
It says, well, you have been aiding the house. If you recall the soul gem that you have acquired for us on our first encounter, we are researching it down there. Unfortunately, I cannot let you in. It is a very volatile, magical environment. And she looks at Beldros, and Beldros nods, and he says, "Of course, my lady, I won't let anyone in there."
Well, then that's fine. I mean, like it's a good explanation anyway.
Seems truthful.
Can we ask her if she's familiar with the blood? What's that? Blood stone.
The court of blood.
Circle.
The bloodstones.
Blood orb.
Bloodstones.
What was the quest again? Yeah, bloodstones.
You ask about the bloodstones, and she just shrugs, and she walks away, pointing at Beldros. And Beldros says, "Oh, you're going against the Fae again, I see."
Oh, okay. Is Amaterasu leaving?
She's about to. She's already walking.
Oh, okay.
I
Anything
think
else
she's
you have to
already
ask her?
turned around,
Goodbye.
about to walk away.
I say like goodbye. I'm such a big fan. One day we'll shake hands and hug. I hope she doesn't hear me, but I say it loud enough.
You're not sure
hope
if
that
she does
somewhat
not
hears me.
acknowledge you, but you're sure a normal person would have heard that, but she does not acknowledge you saying it.
Mark my words, guys. I'll have a hug with her soon.
Okay, Belle
Okay,
just looks
I
at
think
you.
that's
So, what
okay.
is this about bloodstones and the court of blood that you speak of?
Are you familiar with this bloodstone that the Order of the Rose speaks of?
Oh,
And are
the
you
Order of the
familiar
Rose
with
is looking for it?
the R? It was a quest given to them, or a quest posted by the
quest.
Labyrinth Research Institute.
I see.
Would
I
you tell us more
see.
about this quest and the Labyrinth Research Institute?
I'll tell you what I know. The bloodstones are... It is, as they have said, a spell component. Or, not really a spell component, more of an arcane component for different things. Whether it's been used as a focus for magical tools or different magical devices. But it contains a lot of concentration of necrotic energy. They are formed, you see, from the blood of the blood tree. And the blood tree is located, as the Research Institute says, in the sacred grove of the Court of Blood. The Court of Blood being a court of the Fae. Are you familiar with the Fae courts?
Not
No.
entirely.
Of course
No.
not. So there are several. The Fae are made up of several courts. The two most prominent ones are led by the God of Light and the goddess. Sorry, the Goddess of Light and the Goddess of Darkness. That is, the God of Light leads the Seelie Court, and the Goddess of Air and Darkness leads the Unseelie Court. Aside from these two main groups, there are several smaller courts of Fae made up of different Fae creatures, the Court of Blood being one of them. What do I know about the Court of Blood, he thinks. He says, well, they dabble a lot in vampiric-related essences, if I may say. Though not vampires themselves, they're said to exhibit characteristics very similar to vampires. He nods. That's all I know. Yes, and they have this tree called the blood tree, where the blood from the blood tree coagulates into pools, and that's where you find these bloodstones.
And I asked the Veldeath construct, like, we were informed that one way to get it there is through crossing 22.555.666.666.3. Is there another crossing which could get us in with less opposition?
Well, the Feywilds are all connected, and the Feywilds are all connected to the material plane as well. Think of these Fey crossings as gateways. They're portals into the other planes of existence. Although the Feywilds and the Shadowfell being the closest ones, they're usually the ones which create or self-manifest portals into adjacent planes, such as ours. So to answer the short answer to your question, yes. How? I do not know. You can probably enter any other crossing and eventually find yourself in the Sacred Grove. Or you might
And
find
to the
yourself in a deadly place. Who knows?
Interesting. And could we make like a Fey teleportation circle? Because I remember seeing one in the, what's that house again? The House of Alice store.
Ah, yes, you have told me about this. Or the other me, rather. It is that portal is not necessarily a teleportation circle. It is like a man-made crossing. Unlike teleportation circles, where if you know the arcane sigils that make up the circle, you can reach it, Fey crossings are more volatile. They can lead anywhere. Particularly ones that are not natural.
Okay, so we probably can't use that to get into that court, right?
Well, you can. You can try stepping into it and hope for the best. Again, I do not know where it will lead you.
Okay, so it's probably too inaccurate and risky to try. You might end up in the inside of a mountain and suffocate to death. Noted on that. And I look to the rest of the party. Anything else you'd like to ask?
Can we... Is there accommodations for us here?
Of course, you can stay in the bunk bed as long as you want.
Well,
Oh, free.
Free.
What do you call it? Free accoms.
I mean, it is a house.
Is there food?
Of course,
Are there-
the cafeteria is always open
Are there places of interest here in Jokusa?
in the city. Well, I can think of a few things. The largest tavern in the city, the Open Book Cafe, he says. There's, if you're interested in learning more about this Labyrinth Research Institute, which gave the quest, you can visit them. They have open tours as well. And there's this, the Adventurers Academy, which is a semi... It's not necessarily new, but they've only recently had their first batch of graduates from there. It's run by the Adventurers Guild, where they train locals and non-locals of the city to become adventurers.
And would there be, I don't know, a way, like, is there a copy of like the Adventurers Guild postings here? Are they able to help process our
Rewards.
our finished
Quests?
posting.
Unfortunately, not. Official guild quests, even this one, which was, I assume you showed them the quest paper. Even this one that was sanctioned by the Labyrinth Research Institute, you would have to claim in Theos.
I see.
Yes. There's one more thing I may as well tell you. Since the guild has posted some notices around town, there have been some there's a group of thieves who have been stealing things from arcane labs, which is why we have posted additional guards around the house, if you may have noticed. They seem to be stealing magical equipment of some sort. But that is all that the guild has said. I've heard some people are looking into it, though I'm not sure who. If you can just be wary. The city, if Theos is unlawful as it is, this city has no laws at all.
Oh. I see Kasim's
being
eyes
in the
roll in his head.
labyrinth.
Yes. Now, if you have nothing else, I will be working in. And he points at a random lab and heads there. In case you need me, just you know where to find me.
All right. Thank you, Beldroth Construct.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thanks, dude. Very helpful.
Let's see. You want to go for a tour of the Labyrinth Research Institute?
Yeah, why not? Do they accept
Walk
like
in?
do they accept walk-in tours?
Sure. You guys head on over to the Labyrinth Research Institute. This
Hooray!
is probably. It's not necessarily the largest building in the city, but it looks to be one of the largest. It has this huge square base with spires jutting out. Think like the Hagia Sophia, where there are 4 spires on each corner and a large dome in the middle. And as you enter, there's a receptionist who greets you guys. Welcome to the Labyrinth Research Institute. Do you have an appointment or are you here for the guided tour?
We're here for the guided tour.
Ah, very well. We have guided tours offered at 10 gold pieces per head.
I look to the party. Willing to spend 10 gold?
Could
Per
you perhaps
head?
It's kind of expensive actually for
Yeah,
Could
it's
you
kind of
perhaps-
expensive.
tell us what would be included?
Yeah, of
In the-
course. The guided tour brings you to all 7 labs in the Institute. Each lab represents a school of magic, each one dedicated to research on something related to the labyrinth. Unfortunately, most labs are probably having their experiments, though if there are labs which are open, you can enter. And you can speak to some of the lab technicians and researchers that are walking about.
And who would be our guide here?
One of the staff will be your guide. And this is a private tour. We do not offer fixed public tours, hence the cost.
You guys wanna do it now? Guess we could.
Yeah, I guess we could. What time is it right now?
Sure. Actually, yeah.
You
I
got
guess
here
we-
sometime in the morning. It's like nearing lunchtime at this point.
And how long would it take again? The whole.
The tour is merely 2 hours, depending on how long you want to stay on each lab.
Ooh.
Oh,
This feels
time for
like-
some sneaky.
No, no, I was like, this feels like traveling abroad, like museum, you know?
museums.
Oh,
Yeah, you get that vibe. As you enter, you get that vibe. Like there are glass cases on the side with displays and text on it. Like
Oh
this
my
was a
gosh.
piece of equipment used in the XX
Smithsonian.
year XS.
Smithsonian. I like this. Or the Met Museum.
Smithsonian's on my.
Is there a group
Bucket
promo for
list.
the ticket?
No.
Oh yeah,
She
we're
says-
Yeah,
both
because it's private. Yeah, because it's
Okay.
private.
saying it.
Let me check the shared treasure. Yeah, we could pay for it.
You can-
40
Yep.
gold total.
Do you want to bring Kasim with you?
Now we'll leave him outside. He'll just
Ah.
stare at the peoples into the into the
Okay,
city.
fine.
Sure.
We leave
Kasim sits
Kasim
on the
to
lounge.
do his prayers on his own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's like a small
Well, keep-
coffee shop that he sits in. He orders
I'll-
water again.
Oh, there's
I'll
one again.
deduct the 30 from the gold.
Yeah. Okay.
Shared gold.
Yeah.
Okay, we pay for it, and I say, please lead us to our guide.
Go.
She rings a bell, and another lady who looks almost like her, as if they're twins, introduces herself. Good day, good sirs and madam. My name is Catherine. I will be your guide today. She's wearing. You can see from the back that there are several people in like lab gowns, but this lady is in the green Adventurers Guild uniform, which you're very familiar with, and she leads you in. And she goes through each, like there's several floors and several buildings, and I will tell you that there are most of the stuff that you see are very interesting in a sense, like, oh, this lab, they're doing this, like they're testing out if a certain element reacts to this type of metal, and this lab, they're trying to see if certain elements are better suited for divining things in certain aspects of the labyrinth and stuff like that. But it's very informational, you feel like, and you're now very well informed. But most of the labs that you pass through are busy with their research, except for one, which you reach there and you see that they're not doing anything. The researchers are just standing around, and the says, "Oh, looks like this lab is not busy. This is the lab for the School of Enchantment." She points, and you see one of the professors looks at you and says, "Oh, adventurers!" And he runs towards you. He's wearing a lab gown and glasses, and he has like his hair is all messed up, and he shakes your hands one at a time. "Oh, I haven't seen adventurers up this close. It's so exciting. Let me introduce myself. My name is Professor Fujitsu, and I'm the head of the Lab of Enchantment. Pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to meet you."
Pleasure to meet you too.
Nice to meet you.
You wouldn't happen to be interested
Sir?
in the research that we're doing here? And he points at the lab that is on a
Tell us
standstill.
all about it. This looks very interesting.
Yeah, actually, it's very interesting. And tell us more about your lab as well.
Yes, our recent study right now. We're close to a breakthrough. I'm researching something which I'm calling the Fortify Restoration Loop, wherein we were creating potions which enhance our ability to create potions until we reach a singularity, he says.
Oh.
But in order to do
Incredible.
this, we need more bloodstones, unfortunately. We've posted the request on the guild, but they, so far, don't think anyone has accepted our quest.
Oh, tell us more. What are these bloodstones all about?
Oh,
And how are you
And
doing
he-
those experiments?
he goes on a long explanation that takes about 15 to 30 minutes. You're not really sure how long it lasted. Like, he explains each component about it. And you see Catherine is the one asking
my
questions as if
God.
to make the discussion longer. Like, oh, what do you mean by the element does this? And what is this element that you're
Oh my
talking
God.
about? To keep the conversation going and make
Difficult.
your time here longer. But basically, he just explains that the bloodstones are it's a source of necrotic energy, but it's also an alchemical component for something that enhances inherent abilities, he says. Hence the idea of using it to enhance their ability of making potions. And then after they do that, they will make another potion which enhances their ability of making potions, which would come out slightly stronger than it already is until it reaches a singularity.
An infinite loop. Very
Yes,
clever.
yes, the Fortify Restoration Loop. That's what I call it.
Oh.
Ooh. Wow.
Yes, but as you can see, your lab is at a standstill, and he points at the lab again. Like, most of the technicians are just sitting about. Some of them are lying on the table. You know, like when you go to a place where the laborers don't have work to do, so they're just lying about. That's what it looks like in there. It says we're out of alchemical components.
Hmm. And I look around. Are
Can't
any
you
of them like
grow
shuffling
your
papers?
chemical compounds?
None of them are shuffling
Yeah.
papers. They're all just
Oh,
lying down and
That's
sitting
how bored
about.
they are. They're not even shuffling papers.
Oh my
They're not even
god.
trying
they
to look
really
busy.
mean business. Don't aren't there ways for you to be able to like grow your own components? Like have the what did you call it? Bloodstone be created here in the city or in your lab instead of it somewhere being deep within. Where
Yes.
did you say could you get it?
It's-
Pretending to be dumb.
He explains practically the same thing that Beldroth explained to you, that it comes from the blood tree. He talks about the court of blood and that they're fey creatures and it coagulates in pools of blood around the tree. And he says, unfortunately, we can't make artificial bloodstones because in order to do that, it would lose some of its inherent capabilities. Now, and he starts thinking, if we fortify our ability to make bloodstones in order to make more bloodstones, and he brings out a notebook and starts
Ooh.
scribbling down some notes.
Uh-huh. Then Wolfram asks, like, are there any potential risks or side effects if like something goes slightly wrong or anything like a miscalculation?
Why, of course, there are always risks. There's risks to everything. But, of course, what's life without risks?
Okay, and is the risk at an acceptable level, hopefully?
Well, that's why we're here, experimenting to make it into an acceptable level. Unfortunately, we can't release it. We have created loops to some extent, but not powerful enough and not safe for public usage.
Okay.
Would you like to try one of them? And he
Hmm.
asks. And Catherine looks panicked as he mentions that. He says, "Oh, I think our time is up. It's been 2 hours already. We should be heading back."
You said we could stay longer.
She
Than 2
sweats as the professor offers.
And we just like put it in inventory. This looks interesting and add to inventory.
Sure, and he goes inside, brings out a potion. You've seen potions that of enhanced ability in Tasha's shop, and they're colored differently, representing different abilities. But this one, it's black, and you're not sure if it's supposed to be that color.
Oh no! Maybe Catherine should test it.
You can add a potion of Fortify Restoration to your inventory.
I'll put it in mine.
Sure.
That's just we should analyze it afterwards. Like, see what'll happen. If I look at the potion, do I get any hints on what it really does? Like, let's say, like try to analyze. Like, I swirl it. Does it look? It
Sure.
looks strange, but how strange?
Why don't you roll me Arcana?
Okay, let's see if it's good. Magical guidance. I'll do it again.
Sure.
Okay, do I find out
At an
anything?
18, you know that, like, you've studied a lot of alchemy, and also thanks to the book that Beldroth gave you, you have some idea of how potions work. And you can tell that, like, if you put it towards sunlight, it refracts in this way, therefore it does that. So that's how you experiment at a glance without using any tools what it does. And you can tell it probably helps you. It probably fortifies one of your abilities or some of your abilities, but given its muddled color, you have a feeling that there are drawbacks.
Okay. Noted on that. So it's a kind of screwy potion. Noted.
And Catherine is sweating. Says, may I remind everyone that the Adventurers Guild is not responsible for injury or death resulting in any interaction with the members of our guild, especially here in the Labyrinth, and especially here in the Labyrinth Research Institute. You've signed this form as you entered. Just a reminder. And you do remember
You know-
signing some form. You thought you were signing your name, but you didn't know you were like signing consent forms.
Yes, I put it in my backpack, but I will not drink this. It's too risky. Anything else anyone wants to do in the labs?
I don't know if there's any other info we can get. Are there any other areas na restricted also?
Do you look for restricted
That we-
areas? I mean, you have the building is large. You've definitely not have walked around the whole building, so you have a feeling that
Are there
this
any
should be
areas of
public
interest?
labs.
I mean, Because if there are any areas of interest that they didn't show us, because I'm really curious. Like,
Is there
how
snacks,
do we
though?
decipher if
Yeah.
the Labyrinth Research Institute is a good institute or not?
You're not sure with this tour. You're sure that there are areas which you didn't go to. Like, you went in a square around the base of the building, which showed most of the labs. You haven't gone up any of the spires, nor have you gone into the center of the building. Those are like, with your knowledge of your spatial awareness and geographical awareness, those are probably the areas which the tour did not bring you to.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, I don't know. I'm not interested in it. Nah.
Is there a souvenir shop like where they sell like useless
Yeah.
shiny rocks?
You end
like
up
keychains?
at the souvenir shop. That's where Catherine brings you last. And there are
Uh-huh.
like shiny rocks, and there's like keychains with the symbols of each arcane school on it. As you can see.
And how much they charge for a keychain?
It's actually cheap for a souvenir. It's like well, it's like 1 silver piece, which is expensive
Okay.
for a souvenir, but considering how much money you guys make adventuring, it's not that expensive.
Uh-huh. So the shiny rocks keychains. What else they have?
They have shirts that-
Shirts. Okay.
representing again the 7 schools of magic. Each with the 7 schools of magic, and then there are statues of the gods of the pantheon. You also see, and the like small sculptures of the logo of the Adventurers Guild, the logo of the Pantheon, the normal stuff that you also see in the Adventurers Guild headquarters.
I buy an evocation keychain for 1 silver.
Sure, you buy an evocation keychain.
It's so cute. I don't know. Is there anything floral or cute here? Or red colored?
Well, the School of Alteration is red. Wait, what am I looking
does
at?
that
That's not
mean?
alteration. I meant transmutation.
Is it cute though?
Not really. The School of Transmutation, it's like the symbol of the sun and the symbol of the moon crossing over each other.
Pretty cute. I'm gonna get one. How come you said it wasn't cute?
I don't know
I'll
what
get
cute
one.
is. They all look very serious. That's what I'm saying.
But
Okay,
it's
sure.
the sun and the moon intersecting. How much is it? How much do we remove from
1
it?
silver piece.
1 silver piece. Wait, 1 gold is 10 silver.
Uh-huh.
Is that
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Okay. So, okay, doing the math. All right. I remove 1 silver piece and I will add it into my bio.
Your bio, it's so important to you.
Yeah, I will hang it on my ear.
I just added to my inventory.
Do whatever you want, guys. What?
It's nearby.
Mutation. Red. Okay.
Okay.
Are there snack stalls?
There's the coffee shop where you
Ah,
left
yeah,
Casimir.
where we left Kasim, and all he's doing is like drinking water mechanically.
Oh my gosh.
Poor Kasim, he's not himself today.
Mm-mm.
Okay, I guess we head out.
Sure, you head out.
Yeah, let's go. I don't think there's anything else for us here.
You bring Kasim along. As you guys exit, a paper bird lands on Wolfram.
Oh, paper bird.
You open it. You open it.
Yeah, open it. I guess it's not gonna talk to me. Just
Yeah.
why did I open it?
You unfold it into a message, and it's from Beljot. Said, "I forgot to mention something to you, Wolfram." It says, and you read it in his voice. It says, "Remember that magical device which you asked me to look into, which you brought into the
Yeah.
city? I've
Yeah.
come to a breakthrough with it. If you want to check it
Oh.
out, come back to the lab."
Ooh, interesting.
We can come back. It's not that late, right? It's only 2 hours.
It's probably
so technically
lunchtime now.
lunch-ish.
Yeah.
Okay, we can go back to the lab, eat, and then
Okay.
Wolfram, you can do the thing.
Ooh,
Sure. You guys.
will that be like a long sub quest? Or That's it, meta-wise.
Oh, is this another side quest? Oh my god.
You're not sure.
Okay.
You can ask
Oh
Beldroth what is up.
Let's ask
Okay.
Beldroth. Okay, so we launched and we asked Beldroth, so, you have a breakthrough.
Yes, you meet him in his lab, and he's in a lab that looks like deals with some. There are different arcane instruments. Well, from you're a bit familiar because it's you're magical because you're magical. You know that it deals with some form of transmutation, or you're not sure, but it could also be abjuration. The devices around him, and he says, "Ah, you've returned. Have you received my paper bird?"
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And he asks you to follow him to his office, where you see at the back of his office, if you remember when you visited him in Theos, you saw your magical device, which is a crystal which was gathering like lint and forming some sort of stuffed toy, which you do not know what kind of animal it was trying to form. And it was trapped in this like magic bubble that Beldroth created. So you see a similar device. The do I have a picture? I know I have a picture of it somewhere.
Ooh, picture.
One sec. Let me just take a look. Is it here?
Ooh.
Is it? Ah, yes, it is here. You can see the crystal now. It's still in this magic bubble, but the lint is no longer there.
Okay.
Did I show this to you? I will just show you the picture first.
Okay.
This is what the crystal looks like now. Wait, I'll post it in the journal. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, shiny.
So it's a hand-sized prism made of some crystalline material with a translucent soft glow emanating from the inside.
Yep.
He says, and Beldroth like floats the bubble towards you. He explains, "So, are you ready for my very long explanation of what I've discovered? Sit down, take notes." He asks you, but you realize there are no seats in his office, and he says, "As I may have told you, I suspected that this crystal has something to do with the other planes of existence. In fact, I've thought that it may be the key to traveling to the outer planes with ease."
Oh.
So,
Interesting.
turns out my hypothesis was correct. It is a key of some sort. I have figured out, now that I've purified it and stabilized the magic within it, that you can use it to travel to the outer planes. But before I hand it over to you, we need to test this out.
Okay.
And
What sort of test?
he hands it over to you, says, "I will warn you, traveling to another plane of existence, you've probably done it. I'm sure you have. Not a good experience most of the time. You're not sure what you'll see on the other side. So, whenever you're ready, I'll keep this here until we can do this test."
I look to the rest of the party like, are we ready to do this now?
How long will that take us? Like, is this gonna be quick?
Well, I don't know.
Or
Who knows what you'll find there?
I don't know, guys. Do we do it now? Well, do we have anything better to do? I think that's a better question.
I'm still outside.
I think. Kasi,
Yes, we drag Kasim over like, what's your opinion? And Kasim's just like completely frozen. Okay.
He goes on a rant about the city. It's like his default conversation option.
no.
What kind of test are we talking about?
Well,
Yes.
I suspect that if I activate it, you will be transported into a different plane or a gateway to a different plane. Maybe. I need you to identify which plane you're in. Maybe walk around a bit, see the sights, and then head right on. I believe you can use the crystal again to head on back.
Hmm.
Shall we?
But I do warn you, I have as I have said, the other planes are dangerous. I do not know what is waiting for you on the other side. You might get sent into a volcano for all I know. But I believe that I have stabilized it enough to put you somewhere safe.
Okay. Then I look to Party
that
like,
doesn't really.
Hey, don't you trust my abilities? He says.
I mean, well, how's it worth our time?
Well, who knows? Traveling to another plane of existence may be useful in your travels. This is Wolfram's item. I will be returning it to him once I have tested it.
hmm,
So Wolfram, it's up to you to decide then.
let's see. I look towards Kasim and wonder like, Kasim's not really in a good state of mind to go on this adventure. Would you like to wait for him to get better first before we do this?
I mean, we could probably do it. Take a look at least.
Okay. Alright, let's begin the test.
You say to yourselves, sure. Okay, if you're ready. And he pops the
Ready.
bubble and tells you to pick up the crystal, and Wolfram, you hold it in your hands, and it resonates with you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's take a 1 minute bio break. I will also
Sure.
need to pee as well. Be right back as you enter another plane. And we're back. 2 means death. All right. Let's get back into this. So, Beldroth tells you to grab the crystal, and as you grab it, it resonates with you, Wolfram. And the world around you, around the 4 of you, I assume you're bringing Kasim. I think you
Yes.
should bring him. The
We
world
should.
around you turns gray as the
Oh.
material plane blurs out of existence. And you've all felt this sensation before whenever... The last time you felt this was when Tasha sent you to somewhere to face some demon lord of some sort. Except this time, normally what happens is the world fades and it refocuses back into existence. But this time, a new world does not come into focus. And your sight continues to be a blur until everything around you blends together in this sea of gray and white. And you look around and you realize that you are in like an infinite white void. Your party members are still there. Like all your equipment is still with you. But you feel detached from something that used to weigh you down. You also notice that there's this silver cord extending from the back of your neck, and it fades out of existence after about a foot. You look around, there's some other things that you notice. You see floating around in that you've got your bearings. Floating around you are hundreds of these, what looks like tongues of flame, bobbing up and down. They seem to be queued into several different lines heading from one end of the void to another. Like there's several lines of these tongues of flame from one end of the void to another. That's one thing you notice. The other thing you notice, in the distance, you faintly make out this modest-sized house covered in fog, like a wooden cabin. And the only reason that you notice this in this infinite void is because you see a large figure like suddenly fly out from the house, like a blur flashes from the house to the sky. And you can see that there is something approaching you from that direction. And as you see the house, the other thing you see is between your group and the house where this flying thing came from, amidst all the tongues of flame, you see 2 humanoid figures also lined up with the tongues of flame. And finally, finally, right in front of the party, you see this floating jellyfish-like creature, which I will send in the journal.
Ooh, jellyfish.
No. You see this
Oh.
floating jellyfish-like creature floating right in front of you. It has 2 long eye stalks that look very derpy, and about a dozen translucent-looking tentacles floating below it. And it looks very excited, like it has a mouth, and it looks very happy and excited to see you. It says, "Wolfram, you finally made it! I've been trying to reach out to you through the Aesir for the longest time." And he like extends a tentacle to shake your hand, and the other tentacles to like give you a hug.
I shake it and I like, nice to meet you, I guess.
Don't you remember who I am? I was
Yeah.
I was your childhood friend. You called me
Oh.
my imaginary friend, right? What did you call me
Oh.
back then?
Squishy?
Squishy, yes. Don't you recall? I've been trying to communicate to you through the Aesir for the longest time, and now finally you've come to my home through the Aesir.
Ooh, Squishy. Wow, so you weren't an imaginary friend. You're
Yes.
real.
Yes,
Oh.
there's a connection between us. Couldn't you feel it? And
So that's what it was.
as he says, yeah, I've been trying to remind you of us. Remember that stuffed toy that you used to love, and you recall now that you remember Squishy, the jellyfish looking like creature. You do realize that the stuffed animal that the crystal was trying to form does seem like a jellyfish now that you think about it.
Aha.
He says, good times. It's good that you've come here. I don't know how, but maybe we can finally be together again." And as you say this, you can see that the flying figure that came from the house is now getting closer. And it comes into view. Like, you can make out what it is. It looks like a gargantuan green dragon with scales made of shimmering gems, and it's flickering in the light of this void. And it is just a few feet away from the party at this point.
Oh.
And
I look at
Dragon.
Wolfram as I say, looks like you're friends.
I just say hello to the dragon.
and the dragon lands right in front of you guys. It takes a long look and it roars. And it like looks up and then it roars, and suddenly black mist surrounds it, which contrasts greatly with the sea of white that you're in. And this mist slowly compresses and shrinks into a mechanically medium-sized form. And now you see this figure standing before you. I will send it in the journal again.
Oh.
This yeah, this black mist forms into this hooded humanoid figure, and it's carrying a gigantic size. And it's at this point that Squishy has floated. You realize that Squishy has floated to hide behind Wolfram. And and this figure calls out to you, "Intruders, why are you here? Why did you come here? Have you come to steal souls?"
No, we were just trying out this crystal, and I just like showed the crystal, like, yeah, we were experimenting it to see if it worked. It could send us to supposedly outer planes.
It looks at it. That answers my other question. And he takes a deep breath and he says, "I will overlook this transgression if you leave immediately."
Okay. That seems fair. I looked at the party. I guess that's understandable.
And he continues. He doesn't even wait for your reply. He says, "Living creatures are not allowed in the astral sea. And I, Thanatos, the god of death and guardian of the astral sea, it is my sole duty to ensure that the souls pass to the correct eternity. He goes on a an evil guy speech, as if there are people to watch him. And he looks back at you guys.
Okay.
I compliment him by saying, "It's very empty here. You're doing a very good job."
Indeed. And you intruders dare transgress upon these sacred lands.
I see. Wolfram, I guess this was a test. Not sure if it's successful, but Dandelion turns to Thanatos. Is there perhaps a story, a message, or even a souvenir you'd like us to bring on our way back?
He says, souvenir? This is not a tourist destination. And he looks at each one of you, like as if trying to assess and gauge the four of you. And he lingers his gaze at Wolfram. And it floats, the creature Thanatos, he has introduced himself, floats towards Wolfram and points his scythe at you. How dare you taint the blood of the gods? Mortals do not deserve such power. And he brings up his scythe and slashes it down at Wolfram. No wound, no physical wound appears on you. Like, you've been slashed several times. You know what that's supposed to feel like. But you don't feel pain. But as he brings up his scythe, you can see at the end of the blade, coated in something. His scythe is now coated in this red liquid which coalesces, and he brings out a vial, and this droplets of now what you assume is blood, he puts it into this vial, and he takes one more look at Wolfram before transforming back into the dragon form that you saw him before. And he brings up his wings, about to fly away. But before he does that, he notices Squishy behind you, which he then grabs with one of his claws and says,
"Oh no!
Why did you leave the house? Do not interact with these intruders." It says as he makes one big flap and flies away. And Wolfram, you regain your composure after being slashed by this creature, and you feel that your power has been drained. You lose 5 HP from your draconic resilience.
Okay.
You also lose your elemental affinity, and you lose all your sorcerer spells and spell slots.
Okay, that's everything.
You still have your warlock spells and spell slots.
Aha, you're right. I still have Eldritch Blast.
And he flies. You see it fly away, and it's now flying towards back to the house that you saw in the distance.
The draconic ancestry's gone.
Oh no! Shit! We run after them.
Do you?
He's flying
go
away. You
back?
can't really chase him.
What do you
about
want to do?
He has Squishy.
Oh. Is Squishy in range to ask for help? Because I think Squishy might not be just a cute little thing. He might be.
He was shouting for help as the dragon was flying away with it.
Yeah, do you want to let's just run after him?
You can walk towards him. I will remind you what you saw. In the middle of you're in this great sea, which now he has called the Astral Sea thanks to his exposition. And there are tongues of flame around you. You can walk to the house. It looks far, but you feel like, I mean, you haven't tried moving yet. You don't know how distance works in this plane. But between you and the house, the other striking figure there's like these 2 humanoid figures standing out from the tongues of flame, also lined up with the tongues of flame.
Oh. I look at them. Like, do I find out any details from looking at them? Anything particularly unusual?
At this distance, you haven't moved yet from where you guys started. It just looks like they're medium-sized. They look humanoid. Like, their features are humanoid. They also look like they're wearing clothes. They stand out, basically, because the tongues of flame look white as well, so it blends in with the background. But these humanoids are wearing clothes that are similar to what you guys are wearing, but they're lined up as well, or at least looks like they're lined up.
Okay, and they came from the house, right? Like they're four.
No, they're just in between you and the house. Like, if you want to walk towards the house, if you don't walk around this group, you will run into them.
Okay, I run towards them and ask, like, "You saw what just happened?"
You walk towards them?
Yeah.
Sure, you begin walking. And you walk. And although they seem to be a distance away, wait, let me just add you guys to the map. Hold on. Can I add you here without wrecking stuff? Wait, Wait. Tokens.
Well, typically adding us includes us wrecking stuff, so I don't know what we're trying to do.
Sure, I meant I will add you somewhere without spoiling anything.
Okay.
Let's see, and hope for the best. Let's go. Okay, it worked. You can only see the sky. That's what the astral sea looks like. It's like a sea of clouds and a sea of white. You walk towards the group. They seem a distance away, but the distance does not make sense in this plane. Like, you end up getting to them in no time, and you recognize them after walking a while.
Oh.
What do you recognize?
It's Inari and
You see,
Var.
it's none other than Inari and Var.
Oh my gosh.
And you...
This is crazy.
They notice you. Var particularly notices you as you walk towards them, and he says, "Oh!" She laughs heartily. Says, "The irony of it all 6 of us meeting here again in the afterlife. As much as I'm itching for round 2, it wouldn't be a fair fight for a goddess to go all out on mere souls." And Inari comments, "Var, have you not noticed? It seems our party has come to the Astral Sea voluntarily," as Inari gestures towards your physical manifestations. And Var says, "Oh, so you have come for round 2 then? The sheer audacity of it. I'll show you the true extent of my abilities." And you can feel that the air around Var starts to flare up in like a static storm. But you feel that suddenly the air around Inari also flares up. And the feeling of static from Var is overcome by this feeling of sheer cold. And Inari comments, "Come now, Var, we don't want to draw attention from Thanatos again. I do so want to return to the wilderness of the Beastlands as soon as possible." And after Var tells this, after Inari says this, you can see Var calming down. And you notice at this point there are several other flying creatures now heading towards you. They seem some distance away, like you have some time to converse before they get here, but they don't look like the... How many are there? You see 4 figures heading towards you, and they don't look like dragons.
Oh.
And they look at, and Inari looks at you guys. "So what is the reason why you've come here? And it seems, unless you're willing to fight, we should keep our conversation short," as she points out the flying figures heading towards you.
Okay, so I pull out like the crystal. Like, well, we were testing this out. Supposedly it allows us to travel between planes, and the quick test sent us here.
Interesting. A device capable of planar travel. Do you know where you guys are, in fact?
We learned we're in the Astral Sea.
And
But while we have the chance, Var, what was your plans for Theos?
she laughs. "Oh, little children, you do not know that there are greater powers at play behind the curtains of Theos. And it would be wise to step aside if the party does not want to get trampled. Now, as much as I want to share who these people are, I still believe that once they do gain power, they will come back to the heavens and let me free. So I'm not telling
You
you,"
have
she
nothing to
says in the
lose.
end.
Okay. Oh my gosh. What about Inari? Inari, maybe you know something. You guys have nothing to lose, literally.
And Ari says, as talkative as Var is, she has not actually shared any substantial information to me. She has said that Prometheus has been keeping us deities in Theos against our will. And as much as I agree, yes, we used to roam the lands freely, but now Prometheus has us trapped by this in the city, and now this gray mist has surrounded us and kept us in. And she puts her hand to her mouth as she says that, and she says, "Maybe I should not have told you that."
And what more
And then I
does the
just give
House
her a
of
big
Inari
hug.
know about the famine?
She says, "I know that Var has something to do with it," and Var looks coyly at the group. And you can see that the four flying figures are now getting close. If you don't get out now, they will be in engagement distance.
We get out.
Where does get out mean?
As in
do
walk
we-
towards the house
Yeah.
again.
Oh, we run to the house, Asa.
Bye, Inari.
Bye.
Are you?
Okay.
Are you? Okay.
What are they safe?
They seem to
they'll
be
be
lined up.
fine.
Well, you don't know. They look like they're just standing there.
They seem very
looking at
chill
you
about
guys.
it. They'll be fine, I guess.
Okay, fine.
Okay. All right. You guys, what do you call this? You guys head on towards the house, and it is a quaint-looking a two-story cottage made of wood. And as you actually before you guys arrive, you can see that again a green dragon flies up from the house, but it goes in a different direction. It's like away into the distant void, not towards you, but away from you to somewhere else.
Okay.
And as you near, you reach the door of the house. That's it.
I made chant the door open.
You
Oh, wait.
enchant the
I
door.
still can, yeah. Yeah.
Is that
Wait, can I let me double check? Let me double check.
is it a warlock cantrip?
Let me check. Wait. I'm double checking.
I just use my hand.
Oh, okay.
As Wolfram tries to channel magic,
And then I was like, oh,
And
right.
then I clap.
Dandelion opens the door.
Yeah, I barred hand, barred hand.
This is barred
Barred
hand.
hand.
His literal hand to open
Oh
the
my
door.
gosh.
And I was like, oh, right. Oh, crap.
Go in.
Okay, in we go.
I'll move you guys inside.
Oh, Squishy's here.
It's a two-story house. There are stairs. It's a small, it's a nice cottage. Like you know that a person lives here. As you enter, you see one of the tongues of flame. Now that you've come up close, this is what they look like. Do I do that again? Shift Z? Yes.
Loading. Oh.
There. One of the tongues of flame floats towards you and bobs wildly in front of you as if you feel like if it could speak, it would have been shouting at you, but you don't. It can't speak, so it's just floating around angrily. And you see Squishy hanging out by the entryway as well. It says, "Oh, you've come. Have you come to save me?"
Yes, I suppose.
Oh, great. But unfortunately, I just realized I can't really leave just yet. Squishy says, and he explains. Thanatos has been keeping us here as pets, quote unquote. It tries to do the quote unquote symbol with the tentacles. And he points
His
at
eyes.
the other tongues of flame. I'm not sure how much you know about the astral sea, but these are souls. He points at the tongue of flame, which has now given up trying to harass you and just floated back to the side. And Thanatos, it's Thanatos' duty to guide these tongues of flame to the correct plane of existence that they belong in, depending on their deeds in life. That's why everyone is lined up like that. They're being transferred from the material plane into the astral sea and into the outer planes, he says. But Thanatos has been doing some illegal things.
Illegal?
Now, pointing again at the tongue of flame inside the house, he's been keeping some of the spirits, including myself, trapped in this plane of existence.
Why would he do that?
I'm not really sure. Maybe he's just lonely. He says. But yeah, we've been here. I don't know. Time does not. I cannot tell the time in this from here. It's always bright outside. He's. What I do know, Wolfram, is that Thanatos has been keeping special belongings locked in the basement. but the door there is protected by these spirits.
And what are you proposing?
Well, I propose we break into that place and destroy whatever is keeping us here.
Well, that sounds reasonable enough, I guess.
I think you may have noticed that Thanatos has flown off to do some business. He normally does that. He does have to work at sometimes. So I believe we shouldn't be disturbed, it says.
Then I look at Squishy and say, but there's a problem. It seems like he took away my spellcasting ability, well, most of it.
Oh,
As I try to make a fireball, that just insta-fails. Like, this is sad.
then allow me to help. And the squishy floats towards you, and it connects one of its tentacles to you, and you can feel the power flow from squishy towards you. And so long as he's adjacent to you and he's touching you, you can feel you regain all your sorcery spells and spell slots back. But aside
Nice.
from that, you feel your mind filled with this it's filled with the same sensation that you had when you arrived in the astral plane. The energy of the astral sea fills you, and you can hear people's thoughts for a while, and you realize that it's not that you can hear it, but you're making connections with each of them in a sense that you gain the ability of telepathy.
Wow.
Aside from that, you feel your mind is bolstered. You gain resistance to psychic
Nice.
damage, and advantage versus charmed, which you already have, and advantage versus frightened as well. Plus, you feel that your ability to attack has increased, and this is mechanically what it does.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. Whoa.
I
Oh, nice.
Well, it
Is this
seems
then
permanent?
that Squishy should always be with you then.
Yes, indeed. It seems like. I give Squishy
Well
a hug.
then,
Back
let's
with us?
go and free them.
Yes. First, big hug for Squishy.
You hug Squishy, and its powers fill you.
It's so cute.
Then I try
Uh,
to read Kasim's mind. It's empty at the moment.
It's empty at the moment. I will give you the ability to control Squishy.
Hooray! Let's go
Uh,
break in.
What's your name? This one. I will change his name to Squishy also. Okay, you should be
Ooh.
able to view him. You can see his abilities and what he does.
Let's go.
Let's go. We break in.
Is there no item of value that
Oh yeah, we
Would
look
like-
around first.
You look around.
Okay.
I've marked several. I don't know if you guys can see like the points of interest and the doors, right?
there's a
this one.
vase, there's a golden engagement ring?
Yeah. So there's several items that look odd because this looks like a
Ooh.
wood cabin, but there's several items that look odd, and I've marked them
Ah.
out for you.
Let's look at it. So the one on the table.
2 axes and round wooden shield. So this is a sword. This is axes and shield. This has a ring.
Hmm.
This is a vase.
Yeah.
With the wilting rose.
And this is a door, and these are stairs that go upstairs.
Can we inspect
Yes. I inspect.
who the ring is for?
There's no writing on it. The only information you gather is the one that's written on it. The one that's written on when you click gather intel.
Okay. And when I look at the flower, do I gather info or just what's already in gather intel?
That's also what you see.
Okay, let's see. 2 axes. But what could these mean?
Click here to learn more. I cannot click.
You can't
to
click
learn
it.
more.
There's nothing to
Okay,
look
okay.
It's just always there.
Okay.
Anything else I have to check in this room before we head on?
Not that I can tell.
And how do we get to the
Anything else of
second floor? It
value?
seems like there's a second floor still before we go to the
Do you
basement.
guys just want to pick up the blade?
Okay.
I'd
Which one
see.
do you pick up?
The ring looks
All of them.
valuable, but at the same time,
By the way, Wolfram, sorry, I forgot to mention. As Squishy touched you and you felt the connection on everyone's minds, you also felt the connection to the mind of the spirit that was floating around.
Right.
Oh,
It wanted to speak.
okay.
Oh.
I connect to the spirit.
To the flame thingy.
What does it want to say?
What do you want to say? You have to engage in you have to start the telepathic
Oh, okay.
conversation.
Actually,
It doesn't know that
hello.
it can speak to you.
Oh, it doesn't know yet. Like, hello. You wanted to tell me something a while ago?
He's surprised. It's surprised. Like it floats around. It says, "Oh, this is new." She says, "Well, I was going to ask you to leave, but I don't think I'm physically able to make you do that. So I'll just stand here."
Okay. And
shit.
that was all you wanted to say?
I made her gigantic.
Oh,
Can we take stuff from this place?
Please don't take stuff from this place.
Who
Thanatos
owns these?
yeah, who owns this place?
Yeah,
And
who owns
What if you
these?
borrow?
You give. Why don't you, Dandelion, roll me persuasion?
Okay. Skill check. Persuasion. That is an 11.
Okay, sure. And the spheres, like its size. And this is Wolfram communicating to Dandelion, by the way. Wolfram's explaining what the spirit is saying.
Yeah.
And he says, fine. You know what? Do whatever you want. It's not like I want to be here.
Okay. Then this, I'll just put my hand on the curved blade. Does anything happen when I touch it?
No, it feels like a curved blade.
A literal curved blade.
A
Okay.
single-sided blade that's slightly curved that is on
Can
the
you get-
wall.
To the second floor?
Sure.
Let's go to the second floor and have a look. Oops. Where's the stairs? Is it the one on
everyone,
the left?
everyone stand together.
Whoops. Oh,
Stop
Oh,
moving.
What happened?
gather intel. Oh, another blade.
In the second floor, there's another floating tongue of flame.
I say hello to the tongue of flame.
Wait, which one is this? Shit. It says, she says, "Oh, guests?" She thinks, then says, "Maybe not. What are you doing here? Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Erato." And it does it. You feel like it's trying to bow, but it's just floating about.
Pleased to meet you, Erato.
Yes.
Well,
I would say likewise, but not like I'm in any position to do anything.
Okay, and the reason you can't do anything is because...
Well, because I'm dead. That is
Oh.
why. And Thanatos has been keeping us here against our will. I guess I've gotten used to it. It's been... I don't know how long it's been.
And he's just keeping you like a pet, no better purpose?
I think Thanatos has been very lonely, guarding the astral sea by himself. He's just looking for company.
Hmm.
But if
And then I asked-
Prometheus found out that that Thanatos has been keeping his chosen spirits here, I'm sure he would go on a tirade and maybe punish him.
Okay.
You
and
wouldn't
is there
mind
a-
telling Prometheus about this, would you? He is
I
doing well,
certainly
I
could.
assume.
Yeah, he's been doing well. We met him recently. The Wilhelm remembers, oh yeah, when he just like pretty much whacked Inari's head off and like, yeah, he's doing great.
Oh, good.
And I asked
It's good to
Erato-
know that our work is not for nothing.
And I asked him, so is there any more direct way to free you right now, like in this house? Something we can do?
I know that in the basement, Thanatos keeps valuable things. Or maybe you can
Okay.
rummage his belongings. Not that I care anymore.
All right. Then we rummage through the belongings. We see lots of random.
You see a lot of random stuff, but you do notice another thing on the desk, which is not written there. Looks like a diary of some sort, and it's a
We read this.
thick, long book. With you try to count the pages, it's like longer than the Bible and longer than Kasim's Bible for sure.
Oh,
So you try to figure, like, you try to
No.
read random entries but don't get much out of it, so you decide to read the last entry, the first entry, and a few entries after that. The last entry, this is what it says. Wait, I'll copy. The last entry says this.
Hmm.
The very
Uh-huh.
and you continue. You know, I'll just copy paste everything. Wait, I'll copy paste it one at a time so it's not confusing. You also take a look at the first entry since those are the interesting points in time, you assume. And after reading the first entry, you read sequentially some of the other entries after it.
Oh. Oh, phylacteries. Oh. Interesting. Then after I tell Errata, like, we had a look at this diary and we found something like essentially it's bound your spirits to things sentimental to you, like phylacteries. In this
Oh,
room, is there
is
anything
that
that you
so?
find? Yeah, anything with sentimental value to you?
She floats about thinking. So she says, "It's been so long since I was alive," and she it's like she's about to go into song, and she says, "You know, I used to be a poet once, a musician, in fact, but
Oh.
I was not alive during the War of the Chosen, but I was taken in by Prometheus several hundreds of years after the city was founded. And it was during this time that Prometheus was trying to shift people's thoughts away from the war and into times of peace. That's why he took in several artists and declared them the 9 muses of Theos. I was the muse of love poetry."
Love poetry.
Seems like the
I'm one of the-
family parchment
Let's see.
as a
I'm-
poem.
Let's see.
Is
Oh.
this familiar?
She says, I really do not know. It's been so long since I was alive.
Then I go towards the quills. Like, let's see. The one with, like, the flower stem. Like, does this ring a bell?
She just bobs around and says, I have no idea.
Okay.
She says,
Maybe
You might have to
maybe
the base
if I
of it."
tell you more of my story, it will enlighten
Yes.
you. She says, I am
Please do.
a muse of story after all. After peacetime had come, Prometheus slowly descended into paranoia, I would say, about the state of the city. He kept saying that he deeply cared for the city, I believe, and the deities and all the mortals. He deeply cares about all of them. And that's why he takes all these drastic measures to ensure their safety. Before I died, all Prometheus talked about was the city being in ruins and gods begging for salvation, and something about the fate of the city being left on the hands of mortal kind. And then that's all he's been saying until I passed. I did pass a peaceful death, but I would have wished Prometheus peace. I wished I could have aided him more. You know, a lot of his chosen left him when he descended into the state of paranoia. I was one of the few that stayed.
I see. So this piece. Okay, I'm looking at the items. I can't see something.
Would you like to hear one of my works?
Yes, absolutely.
And she... Wait, I should have searched this before. She says, broken dreams are made for streets. A surprise shared with your friends. Lost, probably dark. First, your own. It is one of my sadder tales. But love is meant to be both an exciting and thrilling thing as well as a sad thing. I've written hundreds maybe even thousands of poems. Maybe you still see them around the city.
Hmm. Is there anything else you could tell us about yourself which might help us find your item?
Hmm.
So we know you're a great poet. That yes, we. But anything else? Because we're checking this room, but it doesn't seem like anything is directly linked to you.
Yes. Let me think what else I can tell you about myself. I've told you that I am the muse of love poetry, right?
Hmm?
Prometheus seemed to enjoy hearing my poems a lot. I have written him quite a lot of work, some very mundane, some very exciting, but nonetheless, I was known to be a prolific writer. I even wrote a book once. Maybe it's still in the great libraries.
Wrote a book once. I looked
You
at the
know
part
that
like, and
she continues, love is meant to be a sweet thing, something you give out to other people. And some might give gifts, some might give deeds. I give it in the form of art, and writing is my medium.
okay, all right. Let's look at all the papery things here.
Well, we haven't looked at
The
the
basement
basement
yet. I tell Erata like, thank you for sharing your story. We'll keep looking in the house. Then we go to the first floor first, and let's talk to the other spirit and get his name or her name.
Does he want to go? He doesn't care, right?
We'll still have to go to the first floor to get down anyway.
Okay.
Okay, everyone group up. Damn. Okay, you're back on the first floor.
All right. I telepathically talk to this and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I never got your name the first time.
Oh, so now you decide to be polite? Sure.
Sorry. I was just too surprised to see like a tongue of fire."
My name's Lagertha, the legendary Viking warrior, she says.
Oh,
I was one of Prometheus's chosen. I fought in the first war of the chosen, in fact. I led my shield maidens into battle, and our company was unstoppable. But after the war, I had trouble settling down. And she floats about, and she looks at. It looks like she turns to you as if to check if you're still listening.
I'm still listening.
And she says, many suitors tried to win my hand in marriage, so much so that I had to place a bear and a wolf in front of my house to dissuade them from coming. Only one man was able to best the bear and the wolf, and that is the man that I married. I've settled with this man and had a family, and unfortunately I died at a young age after sustaining wounds in battle.
Thank you for your story. Then I mentioned like from reading, what's the name of the god? Well, the god's name again?
Thanatos.
Thanatos. Okay. When I was reading his journal, it seems like he's keeping you and the other spirits here against your will. Would you want to be freed?
Of course I want to be freed. I've been
Yes.
waiting here for
Okay.
gods know how long.
And apparently your soul is bound to like a phylactery of something of sentimental value to you. Then afterwards I head over to the engagement ring, golden engagement ring, and hand it towards Lagertha. Is this yours?
She says, it's been a while since I've died, but during that time, rings were not used to propose marriage.
Okay. I put the ring back and I point towards the two axes and round wooden shield. Are these yours?
I do not think they're mine per se, but I do use an axe and a shield in battle, and so do many of my shield maidens.
Then I looked for that might be her item, but let's check the basement first before we make any final decisions. Then I say, thank you, Lagertha. We'll keep exploring, see how we can free you and the other spirits.
It floats about.
Okay, to the basement.
To the basement. You open the door, but it's just a... Wait.
It's just the door.
Yeah, it's just a door. You guys head on down. The door opens into another door that leads into the basement.
Okay.
If you guys could go get together.
Okay.
Okay, stop moving. as you head on to the basement. Wait. And as you guys enter the basement, you see there. There is this door to your south, as well as another tongue of flame. And to the west side, you can see like there's some equipment of some sort. Looks like some gear to the west. And as you try to enter that area, go back, stop moving.
Okay.
As you try to enter that area, you see spirits appear in front of you, barring your way.
Oh.
As three large, like ghostly figures come out from the doorknob and blocks your path. And they look like they have their weapons raised, but they do not engage. When you come close, you can see that one of the spirits like grabs its weapon with both of its hands as if to strike down, but then you decide to step back out, and it's barring your path to the western side as well as to the door.
Okay, then I ask this bit. I take it we can't go in. Does it respond back?
The spirit looks at you and says, "Oh, visitors?" It floats around. "Oh, don't mind them. They're shadows of our former self."
Oh.
It says, "But don't worry. They only attack people who enter their space." It says.
Okay, and may I know who I'm speaking to? I'm Wolfram.
"Oh, where are my manners? A pleasure to meet you, Wolfram. My name is Amakuni. I'm the renowned blacksmith of Prometheus." It says.
Then I ask, as in like the Amakuni Trade District? As in you're the original Amakuni?
I have no idea what the Amakuni Trade District is, but if you're telling me that there's a place named after me, then maybe my deeds preceded me. It says. "You see, I fought with Prometheus in the War of the Chosen. I used to create magic weapons for Prometheus' Chosen, and my weapons were known to be unbreakable, and much blood was spilled through my creation. In fact, my greatest creation, I call it the Eternal Lightning." It says. It floats about. I'm unsure if you know what a katana is. It can cut unyieldingly through anything.
Oh, impressive. Then Kasim will just robotically walk over at the hearing lightning and weapons and just stand there and stare
Kasim looks mildly interested.
through his glazed over eyes.
Amakuni continues. "It was a pleasure working with Prometheus, and I'm very proud that my creations helped end the war. I had, unfortunately, no family being so devoted to this work, but I've taught many smiths my trade, and if you tell me that some place has been named after me, then maybe my deeds were worth it."
It would appear so. It's one of the most prosperous trade districts in the city.
The city, you say?
City of Theos? Oh, right. That might have come
The
years after
city
your time.
of Theos, you say? Yes, I do remember Theos being founded, but in my lifetime, no one would have named it a district after me. It laughs.
And it seems like they have. And then after that, I'll ask Amakuni. So, those three shadowy figures are like shadows of the three spirits here. Am I right?
Yes, they are.
And
it seems like barring your path to entry. Are you here to break into Thanatos' vault?
Yes, I guess. I mean, that's the way to get free the three of you as well.
Yes,
seems like.
And he deserves it. It says, "I would help you as much as I can, but I am incapable of doing much."
Okay, and would you know anything about like your shadows, like their weaknesses, and if we destroy them, would you be unharmed?
I think if you can free us, maybe it will release these spirits. They are shadows of our former self. And if you say, I assume you explained the thing with the diary and all that.
Yeah, the diary and all that stuff.
And if you're saying that our spirits were materially bound by something here, if you can release our spirits, then our shadows should come with it.
Oh. What's the process?
The process of
Releasing your spirits.
what? Sorry.
Of the process of releasing your spirits. Do I just get the sentimental item and, I don't know, hand it to your shadow? What do we do with it?
It says, well, you're talking to the right person. I happen to be a master smith, and magical artifacts are my thing. It reads the diary entry that you tell it, and says,
Mhm.
if you're saying that they're acting as phylacteries, then breaking these phylacteries should be able to release our chains, allowing us to pass.
Ah.
What
Very
should
nice.
happen if we break the wrong items?
Well, I am uncertain. If other spirits are chained to these phylacteries, then it might release them instead.
What if we want your katana?
My katana. Well, maybe you should look in the city. I did not bring it into this plane of existence. I came here like this, with no belongings to my name.
I wonder what item he picked that's sentimental to you. Would you have a clue?
Well, I
I
would
look at him
assume
and say,
my life is devoted to work. I would assume it would be something that I've created, maybe a weapon.
There were a number of weapons.
and also smith's tools. I recall seeing a toolbox with a single
Yeah.
smith's hammer inside. Would that be relevant? And I also saw a sword with a curved blade.
You ask about the toolbox, and it says, well, I do use hammers. It asks itself. Yeah, but I do not know if what you speak of is really mine. Now, a sword with a curved blade, isn't that what a katana is? It asks.
Oh,
I thought you knew what a katana is. It
Yes,
asks
but-
you.
Like, I've seen it in passing. I'm not sure how curved exactly. And I run upstairs, grab the katana and the smith's tools. Well, if it's a katana, the curved blade sword, like, and should say, this is a katana, right?
That does look like a katana, and this does look like smith's tools. It's not like I used any magical tool during my time. The magic comes from within, it says.
Is the curved blade special?
I'm going to remove some of the light that is blocking the path so you guys can see all this stuff.
So we don't have to keep going up and down.
And, and
Okay.
bam. Okay.
Okay. I guess let's destroy the curved blade. See if it frees this
that's a-
guy.
It'll likely free him, but he's the one who's giving us lots of info. So I had to ask him, like, would you know what other items might be relevant for, like, Lagertha and Erato?
Well, for Lagertha, he
That's probably the one.
actually. Can
I'm suspecting
we
it's a trap.
head to this room? What does this place look like? Does it look like it's a storage cabinet?
Yeah, it looked like a cabinet. You open it.
Yes, it's rather suspicious that these items are together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
these are all the items of concern, not the ones on display.
Like a dusty, unused broom. Because at least what I'm seeing is I see the frame
Except for
portrait.
the broom.
No, because what I'm seeing is I think I found a match. It's the frame portrait with the poem is Erato,
Yeah.
and afterwards the curved sword is for
No.
Makoni.
It's the smith's tool that's his. And then the skull of the animal is Lagertha's because she placed a bear and a wolf in front of her house or something.
So you're saying all
Why
the
don't you
items
roll me a
here.
history check? No, sorry, not a history check. A nature check.
Nature.
Nature.
Uh-huh.
Anyone who wants to look at the skull.
Okay, let's try.
Probably Kasim.
Okay, you can roll for Kasim.
Okay. Yeah, you roll.
Kasim.
I'll try my own nature check,
check.
which I am not good at. was
Kasim
16.
is a
16.
six. Does he not have a bonus?
It's a 16. Oh,
Okay,
Yeah.
so I rolled 16 for Kasim.
On a 16, you know that Kasim knows that this is definitely a bear's skull.
okay.
So we can keep the katana.
Okay.
and the axes. It's probably these things in the cabinet.
Okay. So let me just press
Can
gather
we
info on each of them.
destroy? We bring the skull in front of Lagertha and we try to destroy it.
Okay, you bring this. You really bring it in front of Lagertha and you
Yeah.
smash the skull in. And as you smash the skull, you can feel life essence spill out of it. And Lagertha telepathically links to Wolfram and says, "Well, whatever it is that you did, it seems to have worked." And it fades away.
Okay.
Are there only 2 people here now?
And when you check downstairs, you see that one of the spirits also fade. And another
Ah.
spirit steps in the way to protect the door.
Another one?
Okay, let's
No, the other
let's
spirit.
destroy the blacksmith's tool and
tool.
I guess the parchment.
Parchment. Let's just try the parchment first.
Okay, which one do you want to destroy first?
The
And where are you
parchment?
doing these? You need to move
In front of
your
Erato. Maybe I will firebolt the parchment, like super close.
Okay,
Like,
I'll
boop.
move you there.
Okay.
Okay.
Erato,
Yes.
look at us burning poetry for freedom.
Oops, you left.
How poetic.
Okay, you blast the thing.
Yes.
The poem.
With fire.
And as you blast the poem with fire, you can feel similarly the life essence escape from it, but it coalesces into this form as a creature appears in front of you. Oh shit, I closed it.
Uh-oh.
Accidentally.
Oh, it's
closed
wrong.
It's wrong.
Maybe.
it. Bam, everyone. Roll for initiative.
Oh.
Oh,
we
so it's
missed
not
it.
all clumped together.
Not all clumped together.
Well,
Let me change the music.
Okay. Oh yes, I get +2 to spell attacks. That's nice. Let me update my sheet with that.
I mean, if it's love, then it's probably the ring.
Oh, so bad for it.
Oh, everyone's rolling
We're
horribly.
obviously letting it start.
Yeah, unless it rolls in that one. Okay, let me just check what are my feature changes. Oops.
Hmm.
Does everyone roll? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Your Squishy shares your initiative, Wolfram. You
Okay.
can take control of him.
Okay. Where is Squishy?
Oh, where
Uh,
did you put him? He's somewhere. He's there. There. He's under you. You have to put him
Oh.
beside you.
All right. So what can Squishy do? Like his actions, bonus action, something.
He so mechanically, he's like a familiar. So he will act independently, but he will obey your command.
Okay.
In combat, he'll share initiative. The difference is that Squishy can take any regular action,
Mhm.
including attacking with its tendrils. But
Oh.
if it's not issued the command, it will just try its best to be adjacent to you and dodge and survive.
Okay. Okay.
As you may
Yeah,
have
like,
noticed, it only has 7 HP.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll keep Squishy here. The thing is, if she's the one who's providing magical power, so if he's not within 5 feet, then whoopsie.
Yep. We will
Right.
start the battle now.
Okay.
Not Squishy. This guy. The spirit wails at everyone.
Probably bad.
Yep. Wait. I need everyone to make a Constitution saving throw.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Oh, sorry. There's a +1. Ignore the +1.
Damn these con saves.
These concepts are crap.
We're rolling pretty low.
Okay. Who rolled? Dandelion and Sersha. Roll a con save for Squishy. Can Squishy
Oh.
here?
Also Squishy. Okay.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, he has regular perception.
Okay. I'm trying to activate. Where's his sheet?
Actually, no, sorry. He doesn't need to roll. because
Okay.
he's not a humanoid. Okay,
Aha!
you Dandelion and Saoirse, you're both incapacitated,
Mhm. Oh no.
and that is its turn. Dandelion, you're still incapacitated. Kasim's
Yes, actually.
turn.
Okay. Do you want to take control of Kasim, or I will, or what?
Mm,
Might be better if you do, since you're incapacitated, so you have at least one player, plus I already have
what does Kasim do?
What does he do?
This thing. I don't know.
Spirit
Probably
Guardians?
guiding
No,
bolt. No, Spirit Guardians is for a lot of things.
it's expensive.
No, it's for a lot of
Yeah.
things.
And he normally doesn't bless, even if he could.
Playing it like a true creature. Like a true
Uh,
Kasim.
Is his sheet correct?
What do you mean?
He uses
it
his sheet to
seems
roll,
right.
I think.
Why does he only have? Oh yeah, because he has that dip.
Mhm.
Okay. Sure. Probably guiding bolt.
Guiding
Go
bolt
for it.
Oh, I didn't get to pick the spell level. Why are there two rolls?
I think it's set to.
automatically rolls too.
Oh right. Probably doesn't hit.
Yeah, 9 doesn't hit him though.
Okay.
Bonus action movement.
I don't know what his bonus option is. He stands
He has
here.
spiritual weapon.
Oh yeah,
And-
spiritual
right.
weapon.
He already cast
Someone.
the spell. He already
Oh
cast
yeah.
the spell.
Okay. Yeah, hit spiritual weapon. Yeah.
Yes.
He ends
Is
here.
Channel Divinity
feeling-
an action? I don't know what.
Probably.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah. We'll try that next time.
Saoirse. It's done. Saoirse, you're incapacitated. Wolfram, it's your turn.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, still incapacitated.
I will hex this thingy, hex strength, then I will double
Mhm.
Eldritch Blast it. Let's see. With a +2 to that spell attack bonus, that's not bad.
Mhm.
I like that. That's a 15 hit?
A 15 hits it. It takes 15 force damage.
Yep.
Let me
Let's
just
see, so I just
reveal
find-
Where's your
the
hex?
HP.
Yeah, roll your hex.
Oh yeah, the hex. Let me. Yeah, then I'll update the sheet.
Because it's HP.
+2 extra damage.
What's the damage type of hex?
Necrotic.
Necrotic.
Oh, it's
It just absorbs
undead.
it.
Okay.
Yep.
As it takes no damage at all from the
It
necrotic.
did
Okay.
not take damage from your
You
necrotic.
can drop concentration.
Yeah, I'll just
If you
drop
have a
concentration.
better
It's
concentration.
not
spell.
worth keeping that concentrated on. And
Your squishy takes a turn after it. After
Okay,
you,
then Squishy can attack. Okay.
this guy
Um,
flies to the side, does not want to get involved.
Okay. I don't see Squishy sheet.
Oh, you can? One sec. Let me reveal the sheet. Is she? Oh, why can't you see the sheet? You have.
Like when I check the PCs, I don't see the list.
Ah, wait. Okay. He was in NPCs.
In NPCs, okay.
Because he's not in your journal, that's why.
Ah, okay.
There we go.
Okay.
How about now?
Nice, I see it now. Wait, let me just read what he can do. Melee attack. Ah, okay, wait. I'm just reading to the sheet. I've not seen it before. From the melee attack is risky, so maybe I won't. Squishy will just dodge.
Okay, he's dodging. It is its turn. It will now fly towards. Oh, I can't. It's already beside someone. He's going to attack the person nearest to it.
Attack Kasim.
Oops, why did I roll that publicly? Anyway, it misses. That's its
Nice.
turn.
Damn.
Damn, Mr.
Kill Kasim. No, just kidding.
Dandelion, you're still incapacitated. Kasim's turn.
Oh, I get incapacitated twice?
You're still incapacitated.
Okay.
No
okay.
saves.
No saves.
Yep. You guys can do this. Oh,
Spiritual
Kasim's
weapon.
turn. Ah, shit.
Yeah, spiritual
Um,
weapon and beat it up.
Does he? Fine. Spiritual weapon.
Fine.
You make spiritual weapon. Let me just see. He didn't share his actual sheet with me. He didn't fix his foundry. I mean his roll 20. Spiritual. Let me add it for him, Menace. Accepting drop from compendium. There. Spiritual weapon.
17 hits it.
Mm-hmm.
Heal damage.
Roll for damage.
That is 9 force.
9 force damage. It takes the full 9.
And his cantrip is probably Word of Radiance.
I always told the necrotic you don't want to do that. Yeah.
Yes, I know how to.
Mm-hmm.
DC 14 con save.
Con save. That's a nat 20. Okay. Saves that.
Saves.
Okay. And then he moves over here behind it. Ends his turn there.
Alright, Saoirse, you're still incapacitated, and it's now Wolfram's turn.
Okay. I Hexblade Curse it. So that one is, it's not necrotic, it's just proficiency bonus damage.
Okay.
So let me update that. Okay. And then I'll Eldritch Blast it.
Blast it.
Oh, those will hit.
Those both hit for a total of 6
Well,
plus
25.
19. 25 damage. Wolfram dealing the dough. This guy, look, he's almost transparent now at this point.
From all those blasts, let's see. Squishy doesn't do much damage, and I don't want to risk him in melee, so...
Squishy might finish him though.
No, he'll only do like 1d4 plus something. Let's see.
Do you want to risk it?
1d4 plus 2, no way, no way.
Okay,
Squishy,
okay.
Squishy will just continue chilling.
You can quicken Eldritch.
Yeah, actually. Let's do it.
Okay.
Quicken.
Oh, 2 more.
Yeah.
You just shoot this guy.
Machine gun it.
15, 26.
Yes,
That should hit,
they
right?
both hit, and that blasts it to oblivion, and some of your Eldritch Blast hits the walls as this guy dissipates into nothingness.
But Eldritch Blast only hits creatures.
Aha! The doors
there
are fine.
creatures there? You don't know.
Yes, it only hits creatures.
I will keep your initiative order, just in case
Okay.
you get into future combat. But
Okay.
yeah, you're out of initiative. You guys, Dandelion and Saoirse look like you think they're dead, but after you shake them up, they wake up.
Okay.
You need to shake us
I
up.
think they're dead.
They look dead at some point in time.
You can have Squishy shake us next time.
Okay. Squishy.
Yeah, he
Fine.
has a lot of arms. to
Okay,
shake
I
us
guess
with.
it's the ring. I guess.
We like to errata like, whoops, I think that was a mistake.
Okay.
Is it not all in this list?
Which one do you break next?
Okay.
And where do you want to break it?
Or a rose. What's his thing again, Erato?
He's the muse of love
Love
poetry.
poetry.
But these are both love related, the ring and the rose.
Okay, so those items have been moved.
Does he give more detail?
What do you ask, Erato?
I ask him between a ring and a rose. What do you think is part of your past?
Well, I was
more?
never married, if that is your question.
Have you ever tried to get married?
Not really. I enjoyed creating poems for Prometheus and the people of Theos.
How about a mop?
A mop? Chill out. Well, I did clean the house at times when I was in poetry battles with the other muses.
What did
If
you
you
write
know what I
poetry
mean.
with?
Jesus.
What did you write poetry with?
Well, a quill, of course.
What type of quill?
Any special kind of quill?
Not necessarily. I used a lot of quills. Although she looks at the pile and she says, some of them look interesting. It looks at the bone one and the metallic one and it actually looks like all of them. It says, I don't really recall. But I do write with quills. It says.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's probably a quill then. Because
But
he
which
writes
one?
poetry.
Love would be a flower stem, I guess.
Probably a feather. Who makes a quill from a flower stem?
Eccentric people like
It looks like
poets.
you look at this quill. It can write. I mean, you can dip it in ink and it
I
can
know,
write.
but would he have been able to buy that in his past? Not likely.
She's unsure. She says some of these they look familiar, but none of them ring a bell to me. It's been a while since I've written anything.
You want to do the one which is more sure, which is probably the katana?
We still need to do him though.
Yeah, also, that's true.
She's a girl, by the way.
Oh,
But it was not evident.
Okay, so I was expecting the poetry on the parchment would have been it, but no. Hmm.
Let me look at Kasim's options. In a moment.
I convert a second level spell slot to sorcery points.
Mhm.
And also first level. There, back to full.
Kasim gives Vigilant Blessing to Wolfram.
Okay.
Okay.
You have advantage on initiative. Is that advantage or bonus to initiative?
Advantage.
Oh, wow.
Yep. First level. And then
What you do when
You said it was like life energy. And both of them had life energy. The one which is correct and the one which was not, right?
yeah.
Yes. So they're all phylacteries of some
Except
sort.
Yeah. Kasim will cast Detect Evil and Good.
Aha.
Just to maybe understand more.
What do you detect with detect evil and good? You see wait. Scroll down. Aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of you. You detect undead on all the items that are marked, as well as errato.
Erato.
The katana and the smith's tools both feel undead.
Yes, and they seem to be magically desecrated.
Mr. Phylacteries.
The broken skull is no longer.
You don't sense it there anymore.
Why would the item of Erato feel undead if Erato is here? Wouldn't Erato's item not feel undead?
It's a fragment of Erato's soul, so probably.
Yes.
And the necromantic energies, that's how phylacteries work.
Yes, Wolfram is knowledgeable in the ways of magic.
Yes.
They're
He read about this.
So they're all like that.
Yeah. So essentially, all the stuff of interest are phylacteries. Which phylactery do we break so that we don't keep getting into encounters?
Okay.
What do you do?
Thinking. So she doesn't really know which quill she'd like to use. So it's hard. Maybe it's a quill, but it's a 1 in 4. Probably not the metallic one, but still, it's...
Probably the feather.
We could try.
But love?
Love. Normally, I'd imagine
Seems
like
like
love
a flower.
flower. Because a feather quill is just utilitarian. It is what it is. And there's a flower
Or-
in the base. That's not really writing.
Or we release the smith and we just fight the last one.
Can we?
You can.
Okay, we break the katana first.
Sure.
Ready for that?
Where are you standing?
Or
Let's not go clumpy.
Are
in
you
case
doing
it's
it
a
on the
bad-
first floor, or are you bringing it up here?
Maybe up here. Just
Okay.
so we're away from all those other things.
Tell
I
me your
moved it, it's not
position.
so-
Where do you put the katana? You can move it. you should
We
be
put
able
it
to.
here.
You know what?
We put it
Amakuni's
beside
gonna
the
go to the
spiritual
second floor as
weapon.
well to see
Oh,
what's happening.
He's
We
curious.
put it beside the spiritual weapon.
Sure.
I look towards Amakuni and say, "We're gonna destroy this now. Ready?"
Sure.
Okay. Spiritual
we'll throw.
weapon will strike at it.
It strikes at the katana and it breaks, and life energy escapes from it, and you see Amakuni fade out of existence.
We wave happily at Amakuni.
Okay.
Okay, so that is correct. All right. Now this
Mm.
last one. Let's completely strike out the super wrong one. So definitely it is not the 2-axis. Definitely no.
There's been metals during your time, probably, right?
Yeah, there have been swords. You just don't know.
So, you probably wouldn't use a bone quill.
She shrugs as best as it can.
Do I know what finger bones these are? Is it human finger bone?
They look human.
Would I know if they're female human finger bones?
Okay, roll me medicine.
Medicine.
Whoever wants to check.
I also want to try.
Sure.
We look at it like, is it? No one has proficiency in medicine.
I don't know who has proficiency, but I'm rolling for Kasim anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Did you roll for... Oh. How's Sersha?
Let me check. I think my medicine's
Oh,
pretty low.
I got
Let me
18
check.
on Dandelion.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Anyone
Does it
else?
teach me anything?
You know it's a human bone.
Oh, please ignore the +3.
Mhm.
I
Okay.
turned it off. Why is it still showing up? I'll fix that.
Wolfram, are you rolling?
I already did. I got a 7.
Oh, okay. With an 18, you'd know that this bone is definitely human, number one. Probably belonged. You can't really tell the age from bones, but judging by the length of it, it's probably a fully grown one. But you can't really tell whether it's male or female, just judging by the bones.
Mm. Yeah, it could be her finger bone as like a symbolic thing. Maybe that's why she doesn't
So
recognize
she
it.
would. It wouldn't be the ring.
It's also not an axe.
Not the axe.
I'll mark them with red
A
stuff. so they-
vase engraved with flowers. Probably not that.
Still not likely, but it's
So
not
it's
entirely
a
impossible.
quill.
Definitely not a broom.
Which quill? We don't know. Probably just the feather one, right? Oh no! Wait. There's a. Which one? Which of the quills has fresh ink on it?
Oh,
Because he
None-
used it to write on the diary.
Ah. Why don't you roll me investigation? As you
Okay,
check
I-
that out.
That's
I will
probably
also
what's
check.
wrong.
yes. I
Can
checked.
we all just roll?
Sure.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That's an
Magical
11.
guidance. And I
Okay.
try again.
That's a 16
Oh.
and a 19. Okay. Your keen senses, Wolfram, tell you that the quill that probably has the most recent ink is the feathered one, which looks
Okay,
like your
so-
standard quill.
But we feel, or Kasim felt,
Yes, there was also energy emanating from it.
he used it to write. But would he have used Eratos to write? Huh. Strange. Strange.
Hmm.
Would he have used Eratos to write?
Hmm. Maybe we'll ask Erato, like, when he was writing the journal entries, did you write it for him?
I do not have hands.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Yeah, Erato, how many quills were here ever since you were here?
I don't really remember, but I don't think he brings. I don't recall him bringing anything new into the house.
Okay.
Okay. Which one is it? Which one is it?
Which one?
Which one?
I wonder if. I don't know.
So I'm pretty sure it's not the metal one, but yeah, it could be the standard quill, the flowers, or a finger bone. Is there? Hmm. Hmm. Or do you brute force it? But I'm not even sure that'll work well.
It's just one guy. Why not?
You have to just take our best bet, and then if it's a bad.
What is our best bet?
So you recently used the regular quill.
Looks like your standard quill made of a feather.
Okay, I go to the bottom of the stairs
Oh,
because I'm not needed in just breaking something.
Sure.
Yeah, but-
By the way, one of the other guys also disappears.
okay, wait. You're going to the bottom of the stairs. Why?
So when it screams, I'm not right there.
Okay. I'll stay up here. How about then I'll move Kasim.
You know that Squishy is immune to the scream.
Let's see what's the range of the scream, I'm thinking.
Would he have used Eratos to write with?
Errata says, I have no hands.
No, I mean, would the dragon have used Eratos' quill to write on his own diary?
Maybe for spite, maybe.
Why would he? Well, we don't have anything to go on.
Let's just
Really?
try it.
Try what?
The
What's your bet? Is it the flower?
feather
one?
quill.
The feather quill.
Yeah, because he's been using it a lot. I mean, let's try.
Okay,
Okay.
smack.
Where do you break it? There?
We put the quill here, then I hit it to the this spot.
Why there?
Then I'll fireball it. It's far. But at least we can just run in anyways. It doesn't matter.
Okay, then I'm moving further away. I'm plugging my ears.
Okay.
Okay.
Where do
I
you
put the
it?
quill here, and then
Okay.
I firebolt it from afar.
Alright. You put it there. The spiritual weapon will destroy it, or you'll destroy it?
A spiritual weapon, I think that's better.
How long does the spiritual weapon last?
1 minute.
Probably been more than a minute. It's probably gone
Okay.
by now.
Yeah,
Okay.
fair enough. I firebolt it then.
Alright, you firebolt it, and as it gets hit, life force escapes and coalesces into a
Oh.
creature.
So it's not
I'll
Okay,
keep the third
we-
order, but since Wolfram has Vigilant Blessing, you can reroll.
okay. Let's do it. Okay.
That's
Aha!
a 14.
Oh, it's the same as the other thing.
Okay, what's your dex?
+2.
Damn it. You go first.
Okay. I will quadruple Eldritch Blast it.
Wait, I have to bring it back to max HP. Okay, go, roll.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
What did you
All
get?
hit.
Yeah,
Right?
that all hits.
All
What's
hits.
your? Can you add that for me, please?
Okay, so that's 9 plus 9, so 18, 21, 28, 31, 37.
Damn. You deal 37 force damage, bringing it. It gets blasted by your mind-empowered, squishy-empowered blasts.
I
Okay,
high five Squishy.
it is now. It's sorry. Here's your bonus action.
Bonus? I already
That's
burnt
a
it through.
quicken. Okay,
Yeah,
moving.
I end my turn.
That's your turn. It is its turn, and it wails. And ooh, you guys are just in range. Except
well.
Dandelion. Roll con saves. Except
Okay.
Dandelion. Dandelion, you hear shouting from upstairs.
I'm like, okay.
Con saves people. Can you roll for Kasim as well?
Sure. I'll do it.
Already did.
Okay, you already did.
Hmm. Who rolled a 12?
I did.
Saoirse? 18. Okay, Wolfram, you are incapacitated.
Oh well. At least I got my turn,
At
and then
least
it did
she's
37.
not. Actually, yeah.
He's gonna fly towards Saoirse and then end its turn there. Dandelion, it's your turn.
Okay. I have enough movement to get 10 feet in
Mhm.
here.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Will cast.
Oh, sorry.
something.
I forgot to do this last time, but
Okay.
because I forgot, it's okay. Those that passed, so Saoirse and Kasim, you guys take 13 psychic damage.
Mm.
Mm. Shit, my stuff deals psychic damage. It's probably immune.
You'll never know until you try.
You'll never know.
Okay. I
This isn't
No, I-
Pokemon where the damage type automatically dictates its immunities.
okay. I try dissonant whispers level 1.
Sure. Wisdom.
Oh, I'm still talking as Kasim.
Low rolls, but oh well.
Oh, it fails. Takes 7 psychic damage. It takes all of it.
Aha!
Okay, it moves towards Kasim.
Yep, moves away from you.
Saoirse, away.
Saoirse, you can attack it.
Oh, hey! Yes.
Okay, let's do this. I'll walk closer to it.
No,
No,
you
no,
take
you-
an opportunity attack.
Opportunity
I
attack.
can't.
It's not your turn.
Oh, right. Okay, sorry.
Reaction.
Sorry. Right. Okay, it's a bit slow. I will do my regular monk unarmed strike.
Mm-hmm.
That hits.
That hits. Will you try to stun it before you roll damage?
Yeah, I think we can. Let's do it.
It's almost dead, by the way. You probably don't need to
pero ma-
stun.
Yeah. Mr. Kasim said, then you are full
Mm.
10 after to beat it up.
Oh, yeah, because he still has full health. Okay, sige.
Yeah, and you still have
And
your
full
turn
turn.
next.
4. Only 4. That's sad.
You deal 4 damage. 4 magical bludgeoning damage.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Dandelion, is that your turn? Bonus
Yeah,
action?
and my turn.
Do you
Nah,
want
not
to?
It's too small. No, it's too small. There, yeah.
Kasim's turn.
Kasim will probably.
Is his modifier for hitting things high or not really?
Create another spiritual weapon if it wants to.
I don't know. Nah, he'll do guiding bolt first level.
Okay.
Yes, dude. Okay.
20 hits. Roll damage.
Damage.
15.
It takes 30 radiant damage and it disappears.
Okay.
Radiant's the way to go. Okay, it's not that one.
Not that one, okay. That leaves us with the 3 others. But more likely it's the flower or the finger bone.
Eh. I go back down.
Or unless maybe... Errata doesn't recognize it. Maybe it is her finger bone? That's why she... Amakuni recognizes the katana.
It recognized it as a katana, but it didn't say that it was the everlasting... What did I call it? What did I call this weapon? The everlasting eternal lightning. He just
Well,
said
it's
that that
probably
is a
the
katana.
flower one then, right?
You want to try the flower one? Okay, let's all get into... if I close the door, would I
Saoirse
be...
wakes up Wolfram.
Mhm.
But I'll be going first before it if it spawns, so that should be okay. I can just Eldritch Blast. I know. I will probably Eldritch Blast, then close the door.
Mhm.
Let's just let Kasim tank.
Okay.
Which one are you destroying?
Over here. The flower one.
Okay, Kasim. Is that your positioning?
Yep.
Okay, Kasim smashes the flower and life force fades out of it. And Arato looks at you guys and says, maybe I did used to own that. And it fades out of existence.
Okay, I'm in
Hooray.
front of the door. Is it open now?
Well,
yeah,
there are
it's
no
all
more
over there.
spirits blocking it.
Okay.
So,
It
Well,
also
from
unlocked
inspect-
the...
Inspect the left side as well.
Okay.
Sure.
Oh,
Let's
Wolfram.
resolve Wolfram first. Wolfram, you go to the west side of the basement.
Yep.
On the west side, well, there's a long sword. Looks
Uh-huh.
like a long sword, and a round metallic shield with an eye embossed over it.
Oh.
Kasim's been looking for that.
Oh.
Let's get
Then-
both.
That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, since we're already home
Kasim
invading.
equips the shield.
You get a long sword, and you get
Okay.
this. This is what it looks like.
Shield with an eye.
It's the shield with an eye. Requires attunement. You know it's magical. You can sense it's
Oh.
magical.
Actually, Wolfram uses a shield as well, right?
That's true.
Let's see
Yeah.
what type of shield it is, I guess.
Yes. Does anyone have identify?
Not right now.
Not right now. Okay. All right.
What's through the door? Actually, we freed most of them, so Squishy, are we done here?
It
I
says,
asked
I'm
Squishy.
still not free.
Oh,
you can leave if you
very-
want. And
No, we're not leaving you.
tears.
Then I hug Squishy. No, we're not leaving you.
Okay.
Okay.
Then let's all go to the basement.
Squishy, do you have something tying you down? Or let's see what's
There
through the
is.
door.
I cannot escape. Something is tying me down. You touch the doorknob, and it opens. No issue.
Uh-huh.
Inside this room, there is just one shelf. On the shelf are three things. To the left is a vial of red liquid, which you assume is the blood that was taken from Wolfram.
Mhm.
In the middle is a vase, and as you see this vase, Squishy floats towards it and points at it and says, "That's it. That's it. That's
Uh-huh.
what's keeping me trapped here." And on the rightmost is a very intricately designed urn. And you don't even need detect good and evil. You can sense the undead energy emanating from this one.
Mm.
Uh-huh.
Do I break my vial first? I wonder what's gonna happen when I get both Draconic and a Parrot Mind.
Wait, you don't need to break the vial. You just took it.
I take my vial. Okay. Oh, okay, that's mine. Put it in my backpack for now.
Mm-hmm.
Then that urn. I wonder what's tied to that
It's
urn.
Probably ignore this urn.
Maybe. Okay, so the one in the middle, we smash it, right?
Yes, Squishy says.
Okay, then I get to Squishy. You want to do the honors, and I hand it to him.
I can't do that.
Oh, okay, then I'll do it.
That's why he didn't escape, man.
I mean, there were the other guard thingies. Could be those. And I hurl it across the room, and it hits
You
the
hurl it
wall.
across the room, it breaks, and you can see the life. It's not life essence that escapes it, but some sort of energy that goes back to Squishy. And you see Squishy grow a bit, and it laughs maniacally. Freedom! Freedom! Okay, where shall we go?
Okay,
Uh-oh.
then I ask Squishy. So, about that third urn, would you know what that does?
It floats towards it, says, no idea. Should we break it? And you can see that it grasps it, that shows you that it can do it now, and hands it to you. Should we? I wanna get my revenge on this guy.
I don't
What
know
if
that
this is
urn-
just a bomb? That doesn't
Might
seem
be a
like
bomb.
revenge on this guy.
Why don't we take it? It says.
We
I
could.
mean,
You
we
want to
don't
take
need to
it?
break stuff.
Romantic energy.
So it's a phylactery, but of what?
Undead energy. Did I say necrotic? I meant undead.
Undead. But of what? That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, you have to just take it.
Sure, you put it in your
But not
bag.
this way. Yeah. And away we go.
Use your thing, Wolfram.
The crystal thingy,
You
yeah.
bring out the crystal, and as
Beam us out of here.
you activate it, you feel the strings that were tied to your back pull on you, and your astral projections get thrown back into your bodies, and you're on the floor of Beldroth's office.
What? Beldroth's office?
As you well, the where you left basically. Yeah.
Okay.
He brought you to his
That's
office.
concept.
This is now the item that you have. And
Mm-hmm.
let's end it here for now. I will
Yep.
resolve the events of what happened in the next session. Good
Okay.
job. Good
We did it!
job. You did it. De nada.
Alright.
What's the shield?
The shield with
Look
an
at the
eye.
spell
Add it to your
drop now.
items. Let's
Okay.
resolve it afterwards. It's a shield with an eye.
Okay.
Good job, team.
I guess it's Wolfram's now.
Yes. Let's see if it does good things.
Good job. You
Thanks
made
for
only
the
2
game.
mistakes.
Two
Yeah, two
mistakes.
mistakes. Yeah. At least those mistakes weren't nonsensical mistakes. Like, yeah, poetry seems no,
Yeah,
not
the broom.
poetry.
The poetry was
No,
about family.
It wasn't about the poetry. It's about them being in the same room. That was the clue that we took wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because it's dark, all storage rooms are dark.
It's like, well, I don't see a family poet here. So, like,
That's true.
The correct
only
clue was
good.
that each area had only one correct item.
Ah.
But you've been moving
that
the
was
stuff
not a
around.
clue. That's not a clue.
It's not a clue, but it is. It's not an evident clue.
Meta design.
It's
a
just
meta
how the
design.
game was
It's a design.
designed.
Yes. Some games want you to think that way.
Uh-huh.
But yeah,
Anyhow.
good job. Good job. Let's see where you guys get to in the next session. There's still a ton of stuff to do.
Yeah, so much in Jokosa.
Yes, so much.
So
Exciting.
much that you feel like maybe you'll never return to Theos at this rate.
Yeah.
And like the main quest, oh yeah, the party finished. Where were you?
Where were you? SPL complains. I thought you were gonna help me.
Whoops, we got excited. We visited a new city.
Okay, good job. I will just end the stream. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for
Bye.
watching.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.